another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
The Chatty Bros are back in the building. You can't get rid of us. You know, we started doing this. We asked you guys if you wanted to hear from us. Unfortunately for you, you know, ask and you shall receive. We're here. We're here now, and you ain't getting rid of us. We're here. We're a staple. We're a staple in the industry. We're a staple in your lives.
We got the keys to the clubhouse, baby.
And now they know, and they gave us a set of keys. Mm-hmm. We might change the locks. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens.
As long as we keep answering your questions, we get access.
So this week, we have no Bachelor. We got no TV we're doing. We're strictly running wild. So the ladies asked the broads themselves some get to know the bros. And I think this is cool because there's a lot of stuff I want to know about you too, man. There's some stuff that I'm thinking, I don't know a lot of details about the intimate.
Do you have questions for me outside of the...
I have beef with you.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but there's like, you guys sent in...
Let's get down.
Let's get pissed. But you guys, they sent in a ton of great questions. And there was a lot I was looking through and I was like, ooh, this will be good to know. So I feel like it'll be good to educate ourselves on each other as well as the broads on who we really are, what makes us tick, yada, yada, and so forth. So we got a lot of questions from you guys. So we kind of just picked a couple because there was like hundreds and hundreds of questions, all really, really good ones, some crazy, but we will definitely jump into these now. So we have some categories. And we'll just kind of work, situation by situation. Some of these are very personal, which I think is dope.
Some are fun.
Some are fun. Some are chill. Some are serious. Some are interesting, cute, the whole deal. Okay, so let's get into this, dude. We got our first kind of category is about Becca and Jess.
Yes.
Which I like. Let's get it. Let's just, the real reason why we're here, do you guys ever get into arguments with the broads about something they said on the podcast?
Do you want to go first or do you want me to answer this?
If you're ready, go.
I'll argue with Becca about virtually anything I can possibly argue with Becca about. And same
so
thing
the
goes
podcast
for
is
her.
no exception.
I stopped listening to the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
I started listening early on because Becca said if I didn't listen to it, I was not being supportive of her. This is also how I started watching The Bachelor.
Okay. You get guilt tripped into... Basically, 100%. I appreciate the guilt trip because now we got the Chatty Bros.
Yeah, it's also just like me learning how to be in a relationship. I was like, I don't want to spend my time listening to your podcast.
I love that honesty. I mean, it's just like, hey, I don't like what you do.
I was just like, I live with you.
Right. I basically have a 24/7 podcast.
I fall asleep with you. I wake up with you. And now you want me to like be alone in the car with you.
That's very real. That's very understandable.
So I was like, no. And then she was like all emotionally sad about it, talked about how I was a shitty partner and I was being unsupportive and can't have that. So yeah, I got guilt tripped into it, and then I found myself really liking it, and I was fully caught up on the broad stuff very quickly. And then actually, the reason I stopped listening was because we moved to Long Beach, and I stopped having an hour and a half commute.
Sure,
40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. That was pretty much like how I was listening to episodes.
Yeah.
So once that stopped happening. Anyway, so long story short,
any specific thing you could think of that like was really, if not, I totally understand. But if there was one where it was like, man, we got into it about this,
like from the podcast or just recently, or
like podcast,
argument.
Podcast,
okay, podcast
like
related.
Something where it's like you said something, or you're having a hard time finding the difference between those arguments and the specific.
Yeah, well, so we'll get into arguments about like I can't remember a specific instance, but we'll get into arguments on like interpretation of certain things of like. Becca takes a stance in this way where it's like I can understand part of it, but then I'll usually have my own take on where how I would have interpreted that situation or my opinion, and then we sit and it's like that's the night.
Got it.
We just neither one of us backs down.
Yes. Oh, okay. So no one lays down
unless there's good reason to, unless you've been solidly proven wrong.
But that is not laying down. That's called being beat.
Yes.
Laying down implies I I don't necessarily have lost here, but I'm going to fall on my sword a little bit just to kind of let this thing sizzle.
We use the term like I'm holding the power.
Oh,
It's about relationships are about power dynamics and when who's holding the power in that moment.
like I say, relationships. Yeah, are you describing a battlefield or
Yes.
a relationship? Yeah, like there's no
Yes.
difference. For me, I can't think of anything we ever fought about, but what I can say is I learned a lot about my wife's sexual endeavors and her past experiences.
So those are reasons.
Because I'm not a big asker of questions when it comes to like her sexual past. So I'm not always like, so what did you do with that guy? I'm one of those guys, like, I don't care. And I also don't want to know. Like, I wouldn't prefer to like hear about it all. So
But you have to edit it.
that's what I'm saying. So those of you who don't know, I produce the podcast. So I'm always hearing all sorts of shit I did not know or don't necessarily want to know.
So you know all about my sex life too.
There's moments of
Because
that.
Becca definitely talks about it.
There's moments where,
Because I
you
read
know-
questions where they're like, what do you think about Becca talking about your sex life? And I was
Right.
like, what are you talking about, Becca talking about my sex life?
Right. No bad stuff. But the ladies, well, I would say it's less about specifically you, and they talk more about ex-partners than
Okay.
anything. It's more about like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this one guy. And I'm always kind of like, okay, great. Let me just listen to this for the next
Solid.
20 minutes. But which is just funny because it's like, we've been married for so long.
I was
but
going to
it
say
is-
these are like high school crushes
yeah,
for
it's
her.
earlier days or college. We had some time in college we weren't together, and so it is just funny though to listen to this stuff where it's like, so it's definitely not, we never get into fights, but it's definitely like an education and like, all right, here we go. But it's like it's great. Let me think. Okay, so next, moving on. How would you feel if we switched partners? So I'm with Becca, you're with Jess. Because that's an interesting one, because our ladies are very different.
Very different.
I think that's a great question. Kind of like dynamically, how do you feel like that would go?
I feel like you and Becca would work out much better than me and Jess.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was feeling like, I hear where you're going with this, and I want to hear more. Here's my take on it. I feel like me and Becca would work so well together that we wouldn't even have a relationship, because we'd be like, you know what I mean? We'd be obsessed with like work and shit. And next thing you know, we'd be like, oh, I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be one of those things where we're like, wow, this relationship's so easy. But at the end of the day, like, wait, we're not really in a relationship. We've just been doing our own thing this whole time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we'd be so that way that I feel like we wouldn't even talk.
when we've all been in the room together, like, I feel like you and Becca can bounce off each other.
Sure.
Like endlessly. Whereas like me and Jess don't have that same kind of chemistry.
Got it.
Like, I know that there are aspects of my, like, I see it happening where like, I don't know how exactly to describe it, but it's like, I'll get a vibe where it's like, I just know Jess and I's compatibility is like not
minimal.
Yeah. We're not partner material. We're not compatible in that way at all. Granted, like, as like when we all hang out,
Sure.
like, yeah,
It's a great hang.
It's awesome, but it's not like we'd have a sexless marriage. We'd have like, she'd be having affairs with the pool boy.
Sure.
There'd be like a minimum type of lifestyle that needs to be provided.
Got it.
And that's like, we'd have like, I would be a beard in her marriage, you know?
You would just be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, when we need to be seen together, we'll be together. But otherwys, like, I would live in a
It's like if you're a
completely
famous
separate
couple
part of the house.
that like, well, we should
That's
stay together because the tabloids, I don't want to do
I'm
with
literally
it.
picturing like long hallways and like long gowns. Like Jess is walking with like long gowns
Sure.
behind her, like diamonds dripping.
Yes.
And it's just sort of like a bunch of handmade, like I'd be a famous artist and all these like exclusive pieces would be there, and she'd be walking
Separate
down
beds.
She'd be walking down the hallways with 2 knives in her hands, just like cutting all my art in half.
Yeah. You guys would have this. Yeah, you're up in the attic where you would have this crazy art thing, and you live up there, and your nails are long, and she's down there, swanning about, and then you guys don't even talk. You separate beds, separate everything, separate servants.
Yeah. But I'd still be like socially, I'd be like a total recluse, but I'd still be like, I have like a high reputation outside of the
Sure.
house, but she'd have absolutely zero respect for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, we'd only be seen together in public when we like have to like go meet the president or something.
That's hilarious.
That's how me and Jess's relationship would work out.
That's amazing. Yeah, me and Becca, we definitely fire off of each other in a business kind of like, we're both very like, have a million things going on in our minds, and we're both very like, and then this, and then boom, and then what do you think about this? Blah. So we can fire that way. But I think that like two people actually being in a relationship like that would just be like a nightmare, because you'd just be like, all the time. And at some point we need someone. The beautiful thing about, and this, we can move into the following thing, which is like what we love about our partners. Or actually, no, let's hold on that. But I do think it would like that. Jess brings me a more mellow kind of like, she slows me down. We have really great conversations for long hours, and we talk about our, what we're thinking and things like that. And I think that you probably bring that to Becca too. You kind of like bring the pace down a little bit. You slow it down so you guys can actually connect, We switch days. Oh, okay.
Like Becca and I are actually more similar, I think, in ways than we're different. But like I don't know, like I'll come in certain days, I'm calming her down. Other days she's calming me down.
Okay.
We're both like super neurotic and anxious and like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You do not hit me as an anxious guy.
That's like what she says too, or like my mom gets that description, but my mom talks to me about like everything that she feels happening inside of her, but like outwardly has like a very calm like demeanor, but like also, I mean, like I've got just this last 2 years, crazy anxiety inducing of like 6 months of a business and then COVID hits.
Sure.
Followed by having 2 kids at that same, all overlapping.
Question about that though.
Yeah.
Because that would make anybody anxious. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
But would you consider yourself an anxious person? Someone who grinds and like stays up late and like thinks about shit until it's 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Or are you pretty like...
I do. I mean, I do that. I think there's a thing of like, I think the only difference is that I also like being engaged curbs my anxiety.
Okay.
If that makes sense at all.
Okay.
So like for instance, like I can't if I'm in the room with someone, people will be like, oh, like you'll just start talking. Like you'll just start talking to anybody. You'll start talking about whatever.
Sure.
It's because I'm fucking anxious
sitting
next to you, and I don't like the silence, and I think it's awkward.
Okay.
And I can't comfortably sit next to you and not be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like in the doctor's office, I'll just start talking to people in the patient room.
Did you know what's funny? In the last episode, they were talking about, Jess was talking shit on me for doing that on vacations. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Where are you guys from? And she's like, are you serious?
Yes,
like we finally got away. We're sitting by the pool and now you're talking to random people.
That's bad as I say. I'll just start it up.
Right.
If no one responds to me, I'll just start commenting on shit to people
like,
too.
Great sunglasses. Those are sick. Just to get it going. That's incredible. I love that. Okay, let's get back to this here. I just clicked out. Okay. Okay. Biggest pet peeve of your partner?
The opinions.
Unnecessary opinions?
Oh my God. Unnecessary opinions.
Oh my God.
I'll implement a decision. Like
Okay.
I'll make an announcement.
I'm doing this.
I am doing this, or I have already done this.
Not what do you think of this?
No. This has already happened.
Or
like,
I just did this.
I just did this, and then it's like, well, you should have done it X, Y, and Z, and it's coming back, and it's like sick. Like because now
I'm doubting myself.
Now I'm like, now we're getting into it, and all then it's just like now we're not having that. Now I've taken it too. Now we're not having sex tonight.
Oh wait,
and I'm in the doghouse.
Got it. Oh yeah. Because you didn't just go.
Oh,
good
like
idea.
You're absolutely right. That's such a good idea.
You challenged, so then the sex is off the table.
Instead, I'm just like, why? What's wrong with what's wrong with it? Like, let's
How would you know any better?
Exactly.
Right. Which is
just me being like, no, it's okay. If we go into it, it's like my defensiveness might be, but if you guys,
it's hard not to be, man.
Becca
it's always hard not to be.
Thinks that Becca has it all figured out most of the time.
Sure.
So that's got,
that's got its own set of challenges.
It's got its own set of challenges.
Yes.
Now she is open to other things, but she's pretty set. She's pretty much. It's hard work. It's an obstacle to make her deviate from what she thinks is right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that especially if you're the partner,
Especially
if you're a friend, a peer, easier because it's kind of like we don't have this like, you know, day-to-day competition. But when you're a partner with someone, it's really hard to change their mind. Like you have to, I will say this about me and Jess, like it took years. Now we're in a really good place to where like we can change each other's minds pretty regularly. But that was at this point almost a decade of work.
Totally.
You know what I mean? The first 9 years we're just like, who wins this one? Dude,
and that's what we're going through right now is like we're figuring that out with each other. Because I will preface this, Becca's not a know-it-all. But if we're going into an area that she does know something
feels
about,
confident about it.
Yeah.
Then it's tough. Yeah.
Especially if we both feel confident in it.
It's so hard too, because in a relationship, there's so many things there too of like, you're wanting to, first of all, show the person that they can be trusted, that they know what, you know, that they're smart, that all those things. So that can even play a role. I know that I can be guilty of that too, where there's this insecurity of like, I want to be looked at. I don't know if it's upbringing or whatever, but I definitely have this insecurity of like, I want to be looked at as smart. So sometimes you can kind of fake your way through it. But more so, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's more of an insecurity than not so much smart, but more like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing in this area or in this area, you know? So whatever that insecurity is can be played out of like, I'm going to take the little bit of knowledge I have and kind of blow it up to make it look like I know more instead of just being humble enough to be like, yeah, I don't really know much about that. Tell me. You know what I mean?
That's
like, I don't know what that is thing, but taking me a long time to learn that.
That's like a hard, I think it's called maturity.
Sure.
I'm working on that.
It takes a lot of work.
And
it's hard to do with your partner.
Sometimes it never happens, you know?
It's like, man, I do want to make the change. I should make that change.
We should get Tyler and Matt on here and we'll talk all about this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I should do this new thing. Like, but that's half the battle. Like they always say like, oh, you got to identify the problem. It's like, sure, but then you got to do something about the problem. We're really good at identifying the problem and then walking away from it.
But this same trait, like I'm sure you'll say the same thing, goes hand in hand with, it's also one of my favorite aspects is like being challenged.
Yes.
So, you know, it's like, I will say it's not my favorite trait. I'll save my favorite trait until you're done with your thing.
Okay.
I just want to say there's positives to it.
Oh yeah. So there's two there's one small one and one bigger one. The small one is Jess is not a big beach person. Okay. And it sounds like a boring pet peeve, but let me be very real. When I say this is not it's more than just, oh, you don't like the beach, big deal. My fantasy is living on a beach. So it's not like, oh, I like Skittles and you like M&Ms. Why can't we get on the same page? No. My like every day I wake up and just try to figure out how do I live on the beach. She is like, take it or leave it. And so that is definitely like one of those things that when I'm envisioning future, like, oh, we got to do this and this because I'm thinking this and the beach and we got to go here. She's kind of like, or we could not. And I'm like, you need to change. Okay. Because that's a personality defect we need to get to the bottom of. You need to be a beach person. Also, and we need to solve this problem right now.
There's a lot of things you can only do at the beach.
That's what I'm saying. So that's small and stupid probably to most people, but that's like hilariously like is like you need to change immediately.
100% support you in that lifelong battle.
And it probably makes the least sense because at the end of the day, if you move anywhere else, it's cheaper than the beach. The beach is the most expensive place you can move to, but I'm so set on it. It's just unbelievable.
But also if you live near the beach and you're paying an exorbitant amount of money to live by the ocean and you don't go to it,
yes,
you're a dumbass. Just make room for other people or start going to the beach.
Yeah.
Go to Arizona if you want to just be somewhere hot.
Right.
But you don't utilize the beach. Like,
right.
Go to the Inland Empire.
We should start doing some sort of like government check on people. How many times you go to the beach?
Are you utilizing the resources at hand here?
However close you are to the beach, each mile is like however many times you should go to the beach.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like the government watches you to be like, you live 3 miles away from the beach, you should have gone to the beach twice this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is Jess doesn't like talking about things like money or like, because money is stressful, right? And I don't mean like obviously if we're like, babe, I made $3 million today. She'd love to talk about that. Anyone likes to talk about that. I mean, we're like, hey babe, little bit of a stressful situation. It's like navigating the sea waters of a storm. You know, it's like, okay, how do I slowly, okay, I got to find the right day where she's in a good mood and kind of slip it in with a lot of good news.
Like talking about a budget.
Yeah, anything like that. It's just like, it stresses her out and she gets anxious and she feels like something's wrong and like, oh my gosh, there's something bad gonna happen. I'm like, no, I'm just like talking about this concept we got to start doing because of this. She hates it. So that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to wrap this in some sort of beautiful bundle here.
It's crazy similar. That's like, Becca's the same exact way.
And for me, it's just numbers. Like I have no emotional attachment to it.
So like one of the big conversations we've both been having recently is just like, okay, like you guys have a successful podcast. What are we doing? How are we going to like, what do we want to do? Do you want to set up like a college fund for the kids? Do you want to set up like, do you want to set up a 401k? Do you want to set up like an interest accruing account? Do you want to do something? And they're just like,
do the whole thing in Bitcoin.
Literally is like, shut up.
Down.
I would rather end the podcast than continue this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
it's just this is exciting stuff. Like, what is the problem here? Why are you so stressed about this? This is fun.
And be like, wait, why would you make that decision? Because it's because let me make the decision.
Right.
And then it's like,
no, it's like, no.
No. And then it's like,
yeah, there is a level of like, I want to be in control, but I don't want to hear about it. Like, well, you got to pick.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to drive the ship blind. Like, that's kind of what I want, you know? But so that's obviously been a journey too, because now like we kind of pick our roles, you know, we have like our strengths and weaknesses in our relationship. And that's something that we've had to navigate, but it's so funny because even to this day, I'm still like, okay, kind of want to talk to her about this, but, doesn't seem like a good day. So I'm going to wait tomorrow. See we wake up tomorrow. Yeah. It's not like, you know, it's like any other topic, Jess, all good. You talk about that. It's like, okay. Okay. So let's dovetail that into what is your favorite thing about, you know, Becca?
Sex drive.
She gets after it.
Yeah.
It's like you're turning it down.
Yeah.
Is that how it is? Like you're like, babe, I'm tired today. Like I don't want it.
Sometimes, yeah. It's like there's I mean, shit, dude. Like we had 2 kids. How soon?
Which is just like,
you know,
brutal on sex drive in general, because it's just like, I got 2 kids in both hands, and you're living life and busy. It's like,
no, but we're like still, I don't know. It's something where like there's questions that were on there of like he's like is like these things important in a long relationship?
Sure.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about like, so first off, Beck and I argue a shitload, but we're not like argumentative sex people.
Oh, you don't get off on the argument.
No.
No. No. Your voice went 2 decibels. Like,
no. We're both like.
So you're not kind of hot and heavy after you blow up on each other.
No, we're more the like.
Talking.
We're more the like. I'm sitting on my end of the couch. You're sitting on your end of the couch. And we're both just staring at each other. And then she's like, "I'm gonna go to bed now."
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Well,
there's a nice back house for you."
No, and then I'll be like, "Well, I'm gonna go to bed too." And then it's the like, "No, you're staying out here. You need to calm down."
You need to
and
think
it's like,
about this.
Don't fucking talk to me like
right.
that. Like, don't patronize me.
And then it just starts again.
And then it's like a battle to be like the first one to go into the room and shut the door, because then whoever's out in the living room has to clean up all the kids' toys and shit. But yeah. So like, no, we do not, our arguments do not lead into sexy time, anything.
Question. Next time you have sex after you've argued, is it good sex?
Yeah.
Because that's how me and Jess are. Yeah, I would say we're similar in that way. Like, I don't think it like, maybe it kind of actually
But
does
we're like,
turn
if we're not arguing, chances are we're probably going to have sex that day.
Got it.
And that's why it's like, if you do stumble on that thing that gets you into an argument, it's still like, damn it.
You fucked up.
Done fucked up.
It's not, yeah. It's like you saw the light and then it just dwindled.
Literally even had arguments.
So you've had thoughts in the middle of the argument, been like, fuck.
We've been literally, she has said to me in the middle of the argument, like, that's it.
Sorry, bud.
That's it. Sorry, bud. You're not like, we'll have talked about it. And then bring up the wrong thing, go take it one step too far. And that's
you knew what it was too.
100% every time.
You felt it. I'm at the gate of no sex. And do I decide to push through this gate? Am I willing to ruin my chances? That's great. We all know that too, especially in the relationship. It's like
everyone knows it.
Do I do I push? How you're like, how horny am I right
Yeah.
now? Like, what's the trade off? Like, how horny am I versus like, how much do I want my point? You're like, well, you. Yeah. You're like, I don't need it.
You're just like, fuck this. Like, we're going there.
That's so great. My favorite thing about Jess is that she is incredibly charming to the point where everybody loves her and wants to be friends with her. Like, I've never seen anybody like it in my life.
I wanted to be friends with you guys when I first met you. I thought you were so cool.
Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate that.
You guys, we were at some bar. You guys were all dressed up. You had on like a leather jacket. Jess had put like white tape all over. It was like all Beetlejuiced up.
Oh, back in the day.
And I was like, yo, this is loud. You had like a fishnet shirt on or some shit. I was like, this
I
was
dressed a lot
loud.
crazier too back in the day,
Some
like a couple years
confidence.
ago.
You had some dangly earrings and shit. I was like, what the fuck do these guys do? Jess was all like badass out, like high ass heels and pumps and shit and like leather.
Man, that was back when we were like out a lot and I was traveling a lot and making a lot of music with a lot of people, and it was like we were in that scene a lot and partying like a ton. It was definitely like we were just
You
so
were
much
like
more
cool Hollywood party music bros.
Right. We were music bros for sure. That's hilarious. But Jess is like has a gift, and it's you can't put it into words because it's not like that she talks a lot in a group of people or anything, but you will just see people immediately just start to turn to her when you're in a group of people, to the point where we would go out with people. I would just, go out with friends, people I meet through business, whatever, and then go out with Jess the next time. And then the third time I see them, they're like, is Jess coming? And I'm like, you're my friend, dude.
Yeah.
Like, stop. And they're just like, oh, cool. Not so cool if Jess came. I just was wondering if she was going to come because, dude, she's great. I'm hearing like all these, like, I'm not kidding you. I would go to parties where I've known these people for 5 years working alongside them. I bring Jess one time, and the next time they're like, wait, Jess isn't here?
Can't show up without Jess
And
again.
I'm just like, so it came to this point where I'm like, Jess has to come because she is my in to all these people because everybody loves her. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. No one doesn't like Jess. It's weird. And if you do, you like have a mental problem because it's like, I've just never seen the gift. So for me, she's just so likable, and I think that's a beautiful gift of hers. Is like, it's hard to not like her, man. It's like being in a relationship with her. She has so many qualities where it's just, you just want to be around her.
It's such a nice thing you said. This is a nice thing you said that's your favorite thing about her. Now I'm like thinking about mine and I'm like, I should up mine.
No.
Should come up with one that's like less. I mean, it's also, this is me in this moment. This is like
that's the thing is like, honestly, I could think of, that was just more like in general, she has that gift or whatever, but like, there'll be more down the line where I don't, we swap.
I also am imagining, I really want Becca to, she's talking about my sex life all the time on here. It's like, fuck you, Becca. We're going to talk about this. Like, yeah, my favorite thing about you is you're always fucking horny. Yeah. Deal with it. No, now everybody knows about it. I don't know what you're saying about me, but now I'm going there. I'm going to kick this fucking door through.
No, that's a good one though. I like that one. I think it's a good one because it is from your perspective, and I think that's what matters. This isn't like a hey, like as a person, I want to have a lot of sex, and my girl's down. Like I think
she'll send me sexy pictures and stuff, and I know there's people who's like, yeah, I'll be like, I can't look at this. Now I have to what do I have to do? Delete our entire text thread?
Like now I gotta sit there. I gotta sit down more.
I gotta sit down way more. I gotta go to the office,
I don't like sit down, guys. I gotta climb.
Just gotta go chill out for a minute, you guys.
I love it. Okay, let's get into parenting.
No boy.
This is a good one. Okay, how was your transition into being a dad?
Abrupt.
A plane crash.
No.
Yeah, ever seen a train go off the rails and destroy an entire town that way?
There was
well, let me start with this. We both had surprise pregnancies.
Yeah.
So this isn't like, oh, I had been waiting. It's like we both were shocked. So let me start with that. Continue.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the news, I guess there's like somewhat of a slow roll into becoming a dad, which is like all of the buildup over the pregnancy of like the dadding, the daddage, but like none of it really happens. Like dads have such a passive role throughout the pregnancy.
Sure.
It's so just chill. Like,
so let's start with like,
okay. So then like once you
actually like holding the baby and then kind of since then, like How was that transition?
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
So like super cool. Like I always wanted to be a dad. I always wanted to have kids. I always just like, I wanted it to be more. And I mean, I feel like most people want all things in life to happen on their terms.
Perfect
but it's
timing.
like never how that anything happens. So whatever. Yeah, no, I loved it from like the second it started. It was like, yeah, this makes sense. My dad said it to me on a point where he's like, yeah, the second you hold your kid in your arms for the first time, there's a molecular change, an instantaneous molecular change happens inside your body where it's like you have this instantaneous identity shift, or at least this is what happened to me. And it was like suddenly, I feel like in so many instances, I was looking for what made sense, what makes sense, what is going to like orient my life, the directions that I want my life to go, decisions I'm going to make, the man I want to be, the example I ultimately want to be to my kids. It was just like happening
Crazy.
and it was like, yeah, this is who I am. This is my identity. This is like, things. Yeah, it was awesome. I loved becoming a dad. I love being a dad. It's like the best part of my day, hands down, always. It's just like, even the shitty parts. I
You
like
just love
it.
it on the whole.
I do. I don't like it at 3:30 in the morning.
Sure, of course. No one
But
does.
I don't like it when you have like unexpected poop explosions and shit.
Yeah, and you're trying to get some sleep. That's hard.
Literally, that's
And no one likes that. No,
Oh
best
my
dad in
God,
the
it's
world.
the absolute worst when you go in and they're crying and you're like, oh, shut the fuck up. And then you go pick them up and you're like, oh my God, you fucking bastard, you shit.
Because it's such a next level. Because it went from like cute, like I'm gonna hold you and tell you I love you and it's gonna be okay and go to back to sleep, to like now I have a 15.
Literally now I'm up for 20 minutes. Now
I gotta clean. And now you're wide awake because I had to clean you.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And it went through your PJs. It went through
It's
your
on
sleep
the
sack.
bed.
It's on your mattress.
Yeah. So now I gotta clean the whole
And I gotta
bed.
flip. This is like this is gonna spill over into my morning.
Right. But anyone who says like, but I even love the small is a liar.
No,
So,
they're an absolute liar.
so you're saying just on the whole, it was actually a really great transition. You loved it.
Yeah, it was super. I mean, like,
Yeah.
our kids are awesome. Like, I enjoy it so much. Like all of the stages, at least of so far in my experience of being a dad, nothing but positive.
That's amazing.
Other than what we just discussed as the negatives.
Right. Which is, yeah. So for me, I'll be honest about this. The act of becoming a father, you can't put it into words. I remember holding Ember, a day after she was born, and just like in the corner of the room and just sobbing, like uncontrollably sobbing, just with like love and connection. And then since then, she is so special and amazing and unique, and we just have such an incredible bond. And she just is, because especially just her personality too is just so light up the room that it's just like nothing I've ever experienced. So that side of being a dad is just incredible, and her just following, being my little, shadow and cruising around. It's just incredible in the journey we're on. Now I'll speak into something that is, and I'll just speak only for myself, which is I'm a very independent and like
Okay, yeah. So this is the
person, but also like I'm a very artistic person in regards to what I do for a living, mixed with how I think. And I'm very like two-sided, which is like I went to school for finance, but at the same time, like I'm an artist. And so when you're like artistic person, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but you're kind of led by inspiration when it comes to doing things, especially creative things. It's very hard to schedule creativity for me. So it's very hard to be like, okay, cool. I have 3 hours to get this done. Let me be creative. I'm very like 11 o'clock at night.
You have an idea.
Hits.
There you go.
1 a.m., 2 p.m., where it's random, right? When I just, okay, I'm feeling this thing I got, and now perfect timing because I got to get this done. Let me work on this for 3 hours, and before having a kid, I would like start working on ideas at 12 o'clock at night and be working till 4:30 a.m. That's how my mind works creatively. Like I really thrive under a no boundary world. Kids put you in such a boundary when it comes to the scheduling that, like, I will say that is something that I still to this very day, like really struggle with when it comes to like, there'll be times when I'm hanging out with Ember that I really want to be like present, but my brain is firing on something. So I'm like struggling with that, where it's like, I feel like people who have a mind that is a little bit more able to kind of be fit in boxes when it comes to like, oh, I have my work hours and I'm able to like work on those hours and I come home and I'm fully present. I've always been someone that like, I'll be at dinner with Jess and all of a sudden my brain goes, and I'm sitting there going, okay, don't be here. You know what I mean? My brain can just do those things. So I will say, even to this day, man, it's like, I have to fight these urges to not be present when it comes to having the kiddo, because she is so all consuming that you can't, and I'm only going to speak even for Ember too, because she's so high wire and so like firing on all cylinders. There's not a lot of space to be like doing both. So that could be hard for my brain, because I'm one side of my brain's like, work on this or think about this or pursue that right now. And then my other side of my brain's like, oh my God, okay, I got to be like super present while my kid talks to me about like the color blue. Which is, as an adult, like something you have to kind of like bend down to be into.
Absolutely.
So that's a really, I will say, just to this day, the whole transition, it's still a struggle for me, where I'm just like, dude, I don't know how to balance this.
Dude, so what's funny about that is that all exists in my, like, I'm an inherently very selfish human being. But I'm like, you ask me about my ideal day, it doesn't involve spending time with Becca or my kids.
Right.
It's
And that's the only clip we're taking out of this thing.
Right.
Okay, great. Yeah.
My ideal day would be like, wake up, fucking party. No, it's like, wake up, go surfing, go to the gym, hang out, hit up my boys, go hang out and play like Magic the Gathering or some shit, or like video games till 4 a.m. And then like, you know, sleep on their couch.
Sure.
And then wake up and have like pancakes with them, and then just like chill out all day long. Like literally spend like 6 days just doing fuck all before I even consider.
Sure.
That's where my brain's at.
Yeah.
All of which took that away from me. I don't actually hold my kids accountable for it. I hold Becca accountable for it.
Her body made the child.
Oh,
that's on
this
you.
Is like, that's where I'm like, so it's like becoming a dad. Like, oh my God.
I see what you're saying. So there's kind of a level of like, it's not the kid's fault. I don't get to surf right now.
Becoming of like a partner.
It's your fault.
Becoming a partner in a relationship. 100%. It's
so
about
resentment. When in those moments especially early on, right? The first year, 2 years, when you had the moments of just like, God damn, this is hard.
Yeah.
Right. Was it in your brain directed towards Becca or the kids?
Becca every time.
Okay. It's like when a pregnant woman looks at her husband and goes, "You did this to me." Yes. You were like, "You did this to me."
That is exactly. That's 100%. So like that's where I have all of those exact same feelings.
See, it's so funny.
I hold someone else and talk completely.
I got it. Me and Jess always talk about Ember, and we call her the common enemy. So when we're having hard days, we confide in each other, and it just goes, it's great to have a common enemy. It brings you together. You know what I mean?
We're like Ruth and Franklin are literal like angels sent from above.
Right.
And when it's like I need you to watch the kids so that I can go do this thing. It's like, damn you and your fucking successful job.
Right.
And your time-consuming schedule. Like, do you really need to go do that?
Right. I don't think about it. You're lying. You're just trying to get away from me, aren't you?
Oh, you really need to schedule that many ads this week? Convenient.
No,
convenient for you. Oh, you want to stack some more and make me babysit some more so you can go do your ads?
Yeah, dude.
So cool.
Jess will be like, go.
Yeah,
she'll be like, she'll be like, I know you're gonna need this. Go.
Total opposite. We're literally like, she's like, so how long do you need to be at the gym today?
Right. I mean, we definitely have the moments where like we're like, wait, you taking how long? But it is funny how we both kind of have this thing that like we love our daughter more than life itself, but we also know that she's a lot, and that like being a parent's really hard. So we have this brain that we're like, we give like fist bumps, and we're like,
I'll take
got it. Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. If we're having those days, because it's like, dude, you got to have this. Like, we're like a united front.
Totally.
Like, okay, she's on one today. How are you going to handle it? Let's go into battle.
I love that. The common enemy.
The common enemy. When she's being, excuse me. And the thing that's funny about Ember is that Ember's like shockingly a really good kid, and she never really causes problems. What's exhausting about Ember is that she puts a pace on you that you can't keep up with. Like, it's questions mixed with watch this, mixed with can you do this, mixed with wait, are these eggs, do these have salt on them? Like, she's so particular. You know what I mean? Like, everything is just dissected and like analyzed and kind of brought back to you. And you have to like, if you say something, if she goes, Daddy did this, and you go like this, you thumbs up, she'll go like, I want you to say it. And I'm like, yes, they did do that. And she's like, okay, good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she demands so much from you that like, there's times where I just look at Jess and be like, I am going to freak out right now. The common enemy.
I'm not there yet. I'm like, Ruth is just getting
but also, I really do feel like some of this is specific to Ember. Like,
I believe
she is
that,
like,
dude. Your daughter is a force.
she's wild. She's a force to be reckoned with. And what comes with that is like exhaustion.
I believe it. Yeah.
My mom, grandma, you know, her grandma says like, Ember's 2 kids. She always says that. My sister has 5 kids. And she looks at me and goes, that's 2 kids, maybe 3 kids.
That's
Like
so
the way
funny.
that the pace she puts on. My grandma, my
I
mom,
wish-
who's raised 3 kids and has 5 grandkids, and looks at my kid and goes, that's another level.
I just remember I came over. So like rarely ever do I get to see Ember when we're coming over because we're coming over past Ember's bedtime. But I came over here one time and Cats was on.
Yeah.
And that was during Ember's cat phase.
Oh, big cat. Yeah, well, that's another thing about her. It's like every 3 months it's a phase.
Yeah.
Big phases.
But you had to memorize all the songs in Cats. And that was wild to sit and watch Ember's Cats.
Yeah. Cats the musical, by the way.
Yes.
Like on
not
Broadway.
like Cats and Kittens and shit. That's
not
what Ruth's
the movie
obsessed with.
Cats. No, the Broadway musical.
Yeah.
Which nobody's into, by the way.
Ember loves it. Yeah, these guys had to be like, it was, we're singing Cats all damn day.
Yeah, it's she's like, you know what she's like? She's like a strength and conditioning coach. And you're like, this is good for me. This is good. I know I can handle this. And she's like, oh, you ain't handling shit.
We just got started. We're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not even breathing hard, and you're exhausted. You're ready. You're already yawning. It's 9 a.m., bitch. Yeah, wake up. No, she'll literally, if I like, it's early in the morning and I'm like this, I'm like, you know, I got her up and we're like sitting on the couch. I put my head down, my eyes are closed. She'll poke me in the eye and go, wake up.
Okay, my new favorite thing. This is driving Becca crazy. I taught Ruth Becca's name.
Becca.
No, literally, it started immediately. We were in a jacuzzi and we needed towels. And Becca was in the house doing Instagram stuff. And I was like, Becca!
And she's just screaming.
Because I'm that person.
You're yelling from the other room.
Shit. All my neighbors. Becca!
Oh, you're yelling.
Towels!
You're like an old man in the back.
Yes. Ruth starts going, Becca!
Towels!
Yes. And now we're walking through
So
the
you guys
house.
are both just yapping.
We're walking through the house. Ruth needs some shit. Mommy, Becca. Yes. And she looks at me and she's like,
yeah. And
She's like
then
2
Ruth looks
years
at you like,
old.
I'm doing it right?
2 years old. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love every single second of it.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, random question here, but I thought it was interesting. Just maybe touch on it for a sec. But raising kids with social media, what are your thoughts on it?
I got into a lot of arguments with Becca early on about this.
Yeah.
So like there was a conversation about starting Ruth and Franklin their own Instagrams. You know, like, no.
Okay.
Don't care about like the opportunity behind that. It's just like, no, it's too much. They're already, in my opinion, it's like, it's
already halfway there, right? I mean, when you think about it, like,
it is already
because of Becca's
halfway
job,
there, and that's
or
what
Jess's job, or whatever.
Exactly. And so, yeah, like I'm not.
What about like?
But then here I am. I post photos of my kids all the time.
Sure, no, but that's a different. I mean, let's talk specifically to like when our kids hit an age where they're like, I want the phone, I want the Instagram. I'm 12, 13. Every one of my, or maybe I'm 10, 11. All my friends have it. What do you think about that?
I'm like, I don't like it. Then I'm also, I have another side where I'm like, if you know that you're going to have to live with it, they might as well like learn this tool.
I think that's where I'm at with it, is a little bit like, okay, it's kind of at this point, like, don't have sex, kids. It's like, I mean, that kid's going to have
like
a boyfriend or a girlfriend at 15 and they're going to start doing stuff. Like it just is what it is. So like you just tell them no, they're going to be like, now I'm really interested in it. So my brain is a little bit like, help them navigate it and use it as a tool and not be like victims to it. Because you can be a victim to just staring at Instagram all day long and thinking about stuff you're missing out on or comparing yourself or whatever. But you can also use it to like start a business, to like learn things, to like whatever. So it's like, I think that it's like anything. It's like, if I can, it's going to take work, but if I can teach her to use the internet as a force and a tool for bettering her life for good, which it can be used, and not to get sucked into like the insecurity of it all. That'll be my goal versus like trying to shield her from it just because I know for a fact, like I can't do it. It won't, it's impossible. And this is now, let alone 10 years from now. Like, dude, our kids it's going to be impossible to escape. To
me, it's a conversation of like balance.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff me and Becca are working on right now is finding balance in our lives. So like it might sound cliche, but it's like, it's pretty easy to get caught up on the age transitions of like, going from like having all of this freedom, being young, like really no real responsibility, to then like focusing all on meeting these new expectations of yourself and all these things and forgetting about the balance in life.
Right.
Where like I'm using this as like a big thing, but it's like a kid can have a screen.
Yeah.
But when they spend 10 hours in front of the screen,
which, let's be also honest, as dads, can be a temptation at times.
100%.
Because you're like, nothing occupies my kid's brain like a screen. Like, you can give them colors, you can give them toys, you can give them anything in the world. They're done with it in 3 minutes.
Which is,
you hand them a little screen with like some silly guy dancing on there, and that kid is just like zonk, and it's like, okay, this is a dangerous
super
tool.
Dangerous, totally.
Because if I let myself go, you could just let that kid rock with that thing for 12 hours a day if you wanted to.
Completely. But for me, then it's also like, I mean, dude, you got like these, I don't want to go so far into like the whole, like what the effect of like these last couple years have been on like, you got kids being forced to spend time in front of it. Like, anyway,
sure.
That's, to me though, it's like the same thing of like work and play.
Yeah,
and
right. Find the balance.
Find balance in our relationship. Like 100%, we need to, in order to be able to have intentional time with each other, you need to have isolated time by yourself, so that the time you spend with the other person isn't spent thinking about doing other things. It's about being there, being present. And you can apply this sense of to whatever you want, but that's like what the goal we have is like, we've accepted the inevitability.
Yeah.
Granted, like we make our lives on social media.
Yeah, right.
You know? So it for me, like our conversations become of like how much, that's my goal, at least essentially, is to be like, exactly like you said, like liberate the sense of self-worth from feedback on these platforms.
That's a big one, is like the comparison of like, my worth is based off of how I stack to all the people I follow. You know what I mean? Because that is also just like, whoever you follow is your only reference point. So it's like, you know, limiting who you follow. So I think it's like normal life lessons, but taken into a more extreme version of like, hey, you're going to be forced basically to look at a lot of stuff. How are you going to handle it?
And that's what like you have music as this outlet.
Right.
I'm so thankful to have something like climbing and surfing, things I literally love to do by myself. I don't care if a friend joined me on it.
Yeah.
I will just go do that. I'll travel the world by myself to go do these things.
Right.
I don't care. And I'm happy to do it. Side
question. Could you travel to like Europe by yourself?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, wow. See, that's one of those things that like I wish I could, but when I really think about it.
Oh, you so can't, dude. It's like
no, what I'm telling you right now, like, so I love golf. Okay. I've golfed, and this is crazy I haven't been golfing a long time, but I've been golfing enough to where like this should have happened a lot more than it has. And my friends that golf regularly will like I talked to a friend the other day and I was like, how many times you golfed alone? He's like, oh, all the time, regularly. And I was like, I've golfed once alone. And it was like great, but at the same time, like kind of lonely. And I realized these days, I'm like, man, I would when I was in Europe, I remember like meeting just like random people like, oh yeah, it's been 2 months. I'm just out here. I'm just like, dude, I couldn't do it. And I respect anyone who can, because I'm like, that is so much alone time. Where it's like, for me, I could be alone in my studio for 12 hours a day, but it's still knowing like Jess is right there, or like a friend is like right down the street. There's something about me that goes, I can be alone when I'm close to someone, but to be literally all alone somewhere for months at a time, I have friends like you who just no problem. And it's like,
I just think about it. I like daydream.
You
thinking
fantasize
about, going off.
Love it.
Yeah. But like also I would rather do it with somebody.
Okay.
I think my point is like, I would rather travel with someone, but I have activities where like, if no one wants to go surf with me, that doesn't stop me from going surfing.
Okay. Got it.
I go surfing and I fight very hard to find time for myself to go have those things.
Because you know it'll bring, I mean, I think that's a big thing with relationships. And the second you have kids, I feel like people miss out on this one, and this is such a random tangent, but like people miss out big time when it comes to once they have kids, that you need to be selfish with time, and your partner needs to recognize that, and you guys need to give each other time alone to do whatever the fuck you want, because you will then, if you don't, that's why people have midlife crisis. That's why people
100%.
buy Harleys and cheat. That's why people lose their minds and go to Vegas and start doing blow, because it's like, you didn't get enough personal time to where you just explode. And so it's like, if you don't have a regular outlet to kind of get yours, you know what I mean? To kind of just experience life alone, dude, you're going to lose your mind.
Or if like your thing is just going to Vegas and doing blow, you need to let your partner just like go do that.
I wasn't hating on the blow. I was more saying like, if that's where you end up alone at a casino for years.
Yeah, like that's your thing.
That's your thing.
You want to just sit there miserable at the but you just want to see the next card. Like you just got to see that hand. You got to see the flop, dude.
Right. You got to see the flop.
Got to see the flop.
But like, if you want to see the world burn at 45, like you just didn't you didn't get enough time to do what you needed to do. Which goes into this next one. This is more of a life category.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give your younger self?
God, how young?
Well, how old are you now?
31. How fucking old am I? 31.
31. 17.
Oof.
It's a good, because you're like getting into college. You're kind of like, okay, I got everything you just went through, which is like, there's no advice to give someone who's 12, right? Like, it's just like, what are you going to do? Like, go to the beach again? Like 17/18 when you're going, you're like, okay, I left what everyone else does. Now it's my time to actually like start my life. You see Gray, 17-year-old Gray. He's like, oh, he walked out of his spot and he's kind of thinking, I want to go to Lewis and Clark University, right? What do you tell that guy? You got like just a couple minutes to tell him something. What do you tell him?
I'd be like, stay with Nawa for the second. I don't know if I would stay with Nawa for the second semester. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Do you know what you're going to tell yourself?
Okay. All I would tell myself is a couple things.
Okay.
Number one, don't do anything to please anybody. That'd be my number one.
Mm-hmm.
My early life was very torn between like trying to please a couple people in my life mixed with trying to do what I wanted to do. And I was always like riding this kind of middle ground. And it led to some good things. You know what I mean? Like some knowledge that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't. But at the same time, it's like when I think about it, it's like if I just would have gone with my heart and just been obsessed with what I love to do at an early age, I think that I'd be in a place. I think I would have gotten to where I got to 7 years earlier. You know what I mean? And then been able to kind of, snowball that. So for me, my biggest advice is like, don't listen to people that listen to the people who you want to be like. You know what I mean? So if your dad is like, do this, but you look at his life and you're like, I don't want his life, then you got to go, I don't know I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. Like look at people, listen to the people you want to be like, that you look up to and go like, that dude's life, I want it.
Mm-hmm. So
if you're like, that dude paints for a living and he's got a sick studio and he lives the life, like talk to that guy about how he did it and what you should do. Don't listen to like the random people in your life or your parents. I mean, no offense, but like parents who just have this, like, this is the way you should live life. It's like, so I would have said that. And then I would have also said, don't hold on to things like too precious. take a lot of risk, have a lot of fun in regards to like try things, fail miserably, just, you know, do that and just like see what brings out of that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there was always just this two sides of me that were like this crazy artist person mixed with like this very logical person. And I feel like earlier on I could have been more, you know, really giving it on some random thing.
So that's so hearing yours helps me a lot. I would be like, don't be afraid to commit to things. You know, like if you're going to go to college, commit to going to college. Don't just
one in, one out.
Yeah, I was more so like, oh, I'll just get the gist of it all.
Yeah.
I'll focus on like, I want to prioritize socializing, going to parties, like having fun, like cool. And exploring like those dynamics and like living in this city and all this kind of stuff. But it was also like, was like, oh, it's fine to not get straight A's. Like I'll just go for B's.
Yeah.
When really it's like not following through on that kind of commitment made the skills that I needed to have in place when I finally did want to commit to something. Like I didn't have those things fully sussed out.
Got it.
So that made that stuff harder. And then because I'd avoided those things, it made committing to those things in the future much harder. So that would be advice for myself would be like, don't be afraid to commit. And if you're going to make a commitment, dive all the way into it, you know, fully. Like allow yourself to be defeated because you invested so much into wanting a certain outcome. And then, like you said, don't be married to it. Like, let it go.
Yeah, like don't hold
Some things burn.
That's another thing too. Is like when you don't throw yourself at stuff harder early on, then you look at everything you throw yourself at as like this big. Has to be perfect. It has to work. And it has to. But if you're used to throwing yourself at things and failing, then you know. Okay, cool. I know what that's like. I know what that fear is like. Now, next time I do it, I'm going to be more calculated about it, but then I'm also not afraid of making the jump. Mm-hmm. But when you hold back from making certain jumps at an early age, the older you get, the more fear builds up. And then when you do make a jump, it's like, this better work or my life's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you find yourself never having done anything. And then you don't actually know how. Or the fear just
pushed you away from it entirely.
And then you don't know how to do it.
And you don't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. Like I will say this, I'm 33 years old. Jumping off a cliff now, way more difficult than 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got $1,500 to your name at 18 years old, and you're like, I want to do this thing. It's like, dude, do it. Like, think about it, be smart about it, but just go for it. Worst case, you lose $1,800, you get a job at a restaurant, you make it back.
This might sound stupid, but the other night at the gym, I tried a backflip for the first time.
There you go.
I've always wanted to know how to do a backflip.
But you're 31 now.
31 now.
Much more of a commitment.
I almost got a full rotation. I landed on my knees.
That's sick.
It's on my fucking social media.
But let's be real.
Check that shit out.
Let's be real. You break your spine, you're out for 3 months. Much more of a devastating result than at 18.
100%.
18 years old, you get a little sore. You're like, that sucked. Can't go party for the next 3 days. You're back. 31 years old, you're out of work. The gym has problems.
Oh, that's like the rest
you got
of your
kids.
life.
It's like a fucking problem.
You're like, bro,
you know
I can't
mean?
go four-wheeling because the bumps make my back compression.
Go through all that earlier, you know, and then you'll be able to be at 31 or 33 and be like, okay, cool. Like, I've learned a lot of good lessons that I should learn by doing those things. What happens is a lot of people don't do those things and they wake up one day and they're like, oh my God, I never tried the backflip. Now I'm 50 and I can't try the backflip.
Other advice I would be to myself would be like forgive mom and dad and like your brother a little more, like have a little more grace for your like family.
Okay.
In terms of like,
'cause at that time there was a lot of resentment.
I was a dude. Yeah. I mean, me as a teenager, like, I don't know. I mean, like me and all me and my friends were doing every single dumb thing in the book you could possibly imagine.
Sure.
It's a miracle that none of us really like were in jail. Like not like we were just doing dumb shit, and because we kept getting away with it, we kept doing dumb shit all the time, and we hardly ever. I mean, there are consequences for sure, but like I had like ultimately like. They were light in terms of what like, could have been the outcome for all of us. And I don't know, like my parents, it took like years to get over things that were like, Becca puts it in this way. She's like, oh my God, like you and your mom, like your biggest issue is that your mom loves you so much And it's like until becoming a parent and being able to talk about those things, was it like ever this like, oh yeah, like, you know, we could have had a really like between
If you would have recognized the amount of love coming at you, you could
from
have
like
really
15
benefited.
to like 29, I had like, you know, much more of a surface level relationship with people that we could have had like my family dynamics are very,
Sure.
yeah,
Got
we're like not super close.
Got it. Well, yeah, I mean, and everyone has crazy family stuff, and I think we go through that a lot as young people, you know, in our 20s, and kind of there's resentment there. There's fuck you for this, and this, and you know. But I think I don't know how you feel now, but I know for me, getting into my 30s, it's like I just kind of look at my parents and go, "Oh, you guys are just people." Like I put you on this pedestal my whole life as like you should have it all together, but at the end of the day, you're just a guy who had sex with a girl and then you had a kid. So
Right?
it's
Like you have a sister, right?
Yeah.
You talk to your sister a lot?
Much more recently, you know, she's 38, and I would say over the last 2-3 years, a lot more. But for the 13 years, from 30 to 17, barely at all.
See, that's how me and my brother are.
Yeah,
Like I have a brother, but like we're not super close
There's no
at
real
all.
connection there. Yeah,
No, not hasn't been for a long time. We used to be best buds, but then it's like no.
life happens. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it'd be like, you know, I talk to my mom about some stuff. I talk to my dad about other stuff.
sure.
I don't know, like, you know, it's like there's no like oh, like Becca's family.
Crazy connection.
She's on group texts with her whole fucking family,
Right.
like her aunts, her cousins, her like
Yeah, I have none of
literally
that. Yeah, I have
everybody.
none of
They're all
that.
intermingling. You go to their house, it's like everyone's over there. It's like everyone's like, let's bust out family board games. And
I
like,
was
we're gonna
always
do
at
this
people's
shit.
houses like that.
It's
And we're like,
tight.
this is insane.
Yeah, and then it's
Right,
like,
right.
whoa, like, you know, like I don't. But to me, my family's normal. So
Sure. Well,
but
our
it
families
is
are always
advice. It is advice I would give myself.
Okay,
Like if
got
I
it.
were to be like younger and
like
like
invest more in that and realize that like don't take this for granted. Like realize that like you can foster this.
yeah,
Yeah, I got you. That's
you can
great.
change this stuff, dude. Like
Yeah, like stop. I think that's a big one is like stop. Yeah, just like being mad at your family. It's like you can actually be the person that creates the relationship, that creates the dynamic, that like whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's like
Stop waiting for someone else to do it.
I'd say like that's a better. I'd be like choose big things to be mad about.
Real things. Yeah.
Choose real ass shit to be upset and angry about. Because like ultimately, I was an angry ass kid for what?
Right.
When I look at it now, I'm like, you fucking, what the hell did you have to be
Exactly.
angry and upset? Oh my God, my mom went through my pockets and found my pot stash. And now like I don't have fucking weed anymore.
Isn't that funny how like at that age you're like my mom sucks, but in reality you look 10 years
My
later
mom
and you're like
fucking sucks,
you're like,
dude. My mom let me
cared.
just get fucking high in the backyard and like do backflips off the roof into the shallow end of the pool and like have my friends over to drink beer we stole.
And it's like your mom just cared about you.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
literally,
right,
and then
right.
you're like, ah, and like
Right,
go in your
right,
room,
right.
listen to Rage Against the Machine, and be like, oh, my mom sucks. She won't buy me concert tickets, so I can go
I
to this
remember one
thing.
time my mom walked into my bedroom. I was sleeping. She had found my cigarettes.
Yeah.
And so she started lighting up all my cigarettes in my room.
Ah.
And just put it out. We lit up another one. My room was full of smoke when I woke up. I was like, and she's like, you like this? You like this? Just lighting them all up, just blowing them in my whole room. And the whole room's full of Marlboro Light cigarette smoke. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? She's like, you like this? You know what? You realize you look back and you're like, she was just cared. You know, she was just making fun of me, but she was also
I
being
plan
like,
on-
you idiot.
So I came home.
Which is what I would like if my daughter's smoking cigarettes at
I don't know.
13. I'd be like, you idiot. What are you doing?
You made me literally go back to this moment. My first time playing beer pong in high school was a Super Bowl. The Cowboys played.
Right.
I was 17. Anyway, it's like beginner's luck beer pong. I couldn't lose a game.
So you were just
Me and my
wasted.
oh my God, yeah, dude.
Oh, wait, no. If you're winning, you're not drinking.
Except all our games were going to, like, to the last.
and then you just do it and then you drink it
Dude,
anyways.
these were all going to the last cup.
Got it.
Played like I don't know. I blacked out. I was 100% blacked out. I remember the kickoff. I don't remember anything
Sure.
else. I woke up in not my room. I
Right.
woke up in a different room in my house. I woke up banging on the walls. I was like, where the fuck am I? Whatever. My mom wakes up. My mom's like, I need you to come downstairs and see something. My mom takes me into my bedroom. There's vomit everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Love
I
it.
had been my friends dropped me off at home at like 6 p.m.
Oh, so it's like a day drink.
This was like Sunday. I had school. This was Monday morning. And fucking show up and there's literally vomit walls, like ceiling.
You were just exorcist.
She goes, my dog was running in and out of the room. Like she had no idea what she was wanting. She said, why is the dog running in and out of the room? She goes in literally like full blown exorcist, like it's 8-foot projectile vomiting, God. All this shit. Anyway.
And you're obviously still drunk.
My mom's like, your punishment, like normally my parents would be like, we're taking away your phone, your Xbox, like all this stuff. You're not leaving the fucking house for like 3 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
Got good grades during those times, but it was like
right.
made a lot of models, built a lot of Gundam models, you know. But anyway, my plan, the cigarette smoke everywhere made me think of this like vomit and beer and like Coors Light will never be the same to me. Oh, and I know, right? So my mom's was like, your punishment is you got to clean all this up.
And you're just like, no, please don't.
My mom couldn't stand the smell.
Understandable.
She cleaned it all up.
Oh.
So my thought when I'm looking about this is like, how are you going to parent your kids? If you find this, I'm going to be like, this was my plan on the spot, would be like if Ruth or Franklin were to come home that fucked up, the next time they come home, I'm going to be that fucked up.
Gotcha. They come into their room and your vomit is all over their room.
I'm sprawled out. I'm sprawled out with like I'm shitting my pants drunk. Like,
you're like, I never wanted you anyway.
Did you ever have friends? Did you smoke just like
my life was a dream before you showed up.
I bought this, just like curb stomping their games, like whatever, and just be like, you want to come home drunk? I'll show you.
Get the Big Daddy.
Yeah. So like come with it, be like, this is what it looks like.
Is this hot?
You want to do this?
Is this cool?
Yeah.
Can I be part of your friend group now? Want to hang with the boys?
It'd be like, that's your punishment. That's your fucking punishment.
I fucking love it. So, okay, new question.
Yeah.
New question. What alternative life could you see yourself in? No wife or no Becca, no Jess, no kids. You're like, can we not talk about this? Because I don't want to.
Be like, are there boundaries that we're not allowed to talk about?
No boundaries. No, there is no nothing.
My life without Becca and kids. I feel like it would kick ass for, I don't, see, the thing is like, what's crazy for me is there's a period of time where I was going to be like 30 years old, owning a gym, single,
sexy.
There was all these
climber girls coming in.
That was some shit.
Like, this is my place. No big deal.
No big deal.
Hey, like, you like to climb? I'll hook you with a membership.
There was some, and just also being able to be like 30 years old, be like, yeah, I'm a fucking business.
Right.
You know,
sounds nice.
Also at that time, like I was a wild horse. Let's just say like
no rules. You're saying right before you met Becca?
Yeah. We were like,
you were just flying.
There's still like, Becca has really calmed me down.
Okay. In
terms of like, I don't know. It's like, it's hard for me to even imagine where I would be.
Let's say this.
Becca has a thing. She's like, Becca thinks I'm going to die early. Even still, even as calm down, just like where I want to go. There's like, it's like almost a Jekyll and Hyde like type of deal of like.
Is she trying to tame you? Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. She's trying to slow you down. But also like
for my own goddamn good. Like,
no, I'm not saying she shouldn't. I'm more just saying you're feeling that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I am like, there's no, like for me, when I'm having a good night, I'm like, well, if you never go to sleep, the night never ends and we can just continue doing this endlessly into the next day. And like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like a Peter Pan complex of it's Neverland. The party never actually has to end. We don't ever have to grow up. We could just fucking do this. Like, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, 16 listening to Drug Ballad by Eminem being like, yeah, you got to take this shit to heart.
Let's go. This is my life.
This is like, let's rage. Let's do these things. Let's make regrettable decisions. Let's like whatever. And so then if you tie that into being able to be successful at the same time, where it's like, yeah, just like sit down and be diligent for a little bit. And then you have this like this ticket to just go crazy. Those were like thoughts, legit thoughts and like plans I was trying to orchestrate my life.
So here's a more specific question. How long do you think you'd be single? Or do you think you're kind of eternally single?
My
Not
mom,
single, but you know what I mean? Like, would you be just in and out of dating and like,
so one
or
of
do
them,
you see yourself actually settling down and getting married if it wasn't for this kind of situation?
no,
Right.
no, I would not see myself settling down to marry
Like
somebody.
I could totally see you as like a 50-year-old guy in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Who's just kind of like, yeah, man. And like, you're just chilling and you've dated on and off and you had a couple of girlfriends on the island and like you kind of vibe and you're chilling and like you have this girl that you're dating in Costa Rica, but like it's been 3-4 years now and you guys are great because you're older, but at the same time, you're never going to get married. You know what I mean? I can see you just kind of floating.
I used to have a legit fantasy of like having kids in different continents and just working like financially
and they're all friends and it's
where
all
I'm
cool.
like, whatever. Like everybody knows about it. And they're like, it's just Grayston. Like that's just like how he does, like that's how he lives his life. But like I got kids. I love my kids. I love the partners, but I can only be with that partner for like 3 months out of the year. And I had like literally had this fantasy worked out of I'm like, I'm going to be bouncing.
I got to show you something. There is a chef on Netflix. There's a chef documentary and there's an Argentinian famous chef. He lives your fantasy life. He has kids with different women in different like areas and he just makes food and he's a world famous chef and he's just cool as shit. And I'm like, that's Grayston, dude.
I would love that. I would love that. Yeah. That's sort of the, you know, like this sort of like Keith Richards, Mick Jagger kind of like,
yeah,
conflict where it's like you get away, vagabondy, but you're also like, you know, you're tied into these like upper levels of, you know, I just want a goal for myself if I was single without Beck would just be like living sort of like an amalgamation of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards' life.
That's
like
so
that's
chill.
so reasonable,
it's
right?
reasonable and it's chill. I totally understand.
Yeah,
I love that. For me,
no, but ultimately, that's the fantasy. In all reality, my life would be extremely dark.
I'd be so unhappy. Wait. For me, I think that I am just someone who would be obsessed with work. So I just enjoy that process. Like whether it be a business or whether it be music or whatever it would be, like I just like living 24/7 in it. Mm-hmm. So like for me, I could totally see, you know, me having a house with a couple people that we work on the same things. And it's just like kind of like 24/7 lifestyle. So for me, like, I don't like hours. I don't like clock. You know, I like just kind of the lifestyle of whatever I do. So if it was like, I live in a house of producers, let's say, and we're just working on stuff all the time. And it's kind of like, sometimes you don't work, sometimes you do. Sometimes it's 5 days straight, 18-hour days. Sometimes it's nothing for 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden it's like 5 months straight. You know what I mean? I like this kind of free flowing thing. So I could totally see myself digging in with a couple people that like I work with, and just being kind of, and just living it.
But you have to have that.
Yeah. So that would be kind of, I think that I would date people, but I think that I would, honestly, I would get in a serious relationship pretty quickly. I'm a serious relationship guy. Okay. I noticed that like, I could try to be that guy that like floats in between, and romantically, I do want to be that guy because it sounds dope. But I know for me, I like that like at home waiting for me, or you know, at home is that person that like I got. You know what I mean? I need that, and I think that. But I do want to be the cool guy in Costa Rica. But like I do know myself enough to be like, I'd have to have the person that I go home to every night because that is such a warm blanket for my soul. You know what I mean? So like Jess always makes fun of me because she's always like, you always say you'd be this single guy. Like, no, I know you. You'd be like, if we got divorced, she's like, you'd be married in a year. She's like, no joke. If we got divorced tomorrow, within like 6 months, you'd be like serious relationship.
See, I would want to be like, I'd want to be the dude that like you could never lock it down.
We made plans with him. He's supposed to come. Actually, we just found out he's in Ibiza.
Yeah. But it's like there's like the borderline.
He's in Spain.
Because there's the people who do live. There's like the borderline like trust fund type deal, but it's
Yeah.
like you still have to have your own business. Like you got to be boss.
You have your
in this
thing.
way.
You have your thing. You make money, but you're the kind of guy
High functioning,
They go,
like-
how does he make money? And like, I don't know, but he like has a nice car. I don't know
How
what he
does-
does.
somehow does it.
I don't know what he does.
You have like great advice and like all these things. But,
It's
like, you
super
think
cool,
about-
but he had no idea what he does.
like think of Versace
Yeah, right,
in this way, where like this dude created like when you look at like the life he was living
Yeah,
while simultaneously running that company.
it was just
Because the dude wasn't like, it's not like he was not involved.
no.
Heavily involved. Also
But
lived
just-
the craziest.
Living the most insane life ever. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I totally see that, and I think that I could do that for a year. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I'd have a breakdown and be like, "Where's my person?"
Well, that's where you'd be like the Beatles story, where it's like all of a sudden you're doing just copious amounts of LSD, and then all of a sudden you found the Maharishi, and now you guys are like using tablas and all this
Yeah.
stuff in your music, and it's still groundbreaking. But now like you guys are all sober, and then the
Right.
next year you guys discovered cocaine, and now you're all wearing furs and you're doing rooftop concerts and all
Right.
this shit. But it's like constantly on this amorphous train
yeah.
of whatever.
so
but
I'd
you're
have
like
to do-
unstoppable.
Right. And I think I'd like to do all those things. And I am that kind of person that like is very like, I want to, my dream is to be like in Costa Rica chilling on a beach for the rest of my life, but I'd want to do it with somebody. Couldn't do it alone, or couldn't do it kind of vagabondy. I'd have to kind of have my person. You know what I
I'm
mean?
sort of like an easy rider. Like I'd love to have that sort of like.
You got the cool shack on the beach that sells drinks to everyone, and you're like a vibey guy.
Dude, right
and,
before
like,
Becca, I was literally I took my CHP course to get my motorcycle license, and I had a consultation to get a bike, and I literally got in a crazy ass accident, completely totaled my car, went to the hospital. I have like disc issues in my spine now. And then literally like by the time that all resolved and I was able to get like everything back together, the gym had taken off. Investors were like, you're not allowed to get a motorcycle till your business is successful. And then all of a sudden I became a dad, and she's still like, you're not allowed to get a motorcycle. And I'm like, dude, I have the helmet.
Yeah, right.
I have the helmet.
The helmet's
She's
still
like,
there.
you got to get rid of this. I was like, no, I'm not fucking getting rid of like
Right.
that. I'm getting a bike.
Get one.
I'm getting a bike.
Right,
like,
right.
You know, someday it's going to happen. I want that.
I love it. Okay. Sex and relationships. By the way, I think we should do an entire episode on this.
Sex and relationships. Okay.
We should do like at some point like a full thing on just sex and relationships, because it's such a dynamic thing. It's
It
so
is.
crazy. We have our unique relationships with both dads. Like, you know, it's such a unique thing. But here's just a couple quick ones. Has your sex drive changed the longer you've been with your partner? Now this is two different things, because I got a decade. You got what? Where are you
3
at? Now?
years?
3 years. So it's
A
different.
little more than 3 years.
Really? It's been that long already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, so let's see. We got pregnant. She was, there was a year before Ruth was born.
Okay.
So
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, we have
Ruth's-
uniquely different stories. So let me start, because I got the long one.
Mm-hmm.
Has your sex drive changed? It has, in that like it's not as consistently the same as it always was. You know what I mean? And I will say the thing is like dating is such a different thing, because you're like, you don't see a person and then you see your person. You don't see a person and then you see your person. So it's like that firing of like, oh, I see my person. It's like it's always there. When you live with someone every single day, it changes the vibe. And then you do that for 10 years. So for me, it's like waves, where it's like I'll go through waves where it's like, and this dovetails into the other question, which is how important is sex in long-term relationships? For me, it's like waves, you know? And I'll go through like months where it's like we're super connecting and I'm super into it and we're vibing. And then I'll go through months where it's like life's busy and we're just kind of rolling, and then I'll just kind of wake up and be like, whoa, we haven't had sex in a while, you know? And then you add a kid to that. And so it takes away a lot of the organicness of sex in a relationship, where you're like the spontaneity of like, oh, we just went to dinner at this cool Italian restaurant. We're vibing in the car, and then I'm looking at you and I'm looking at me, and then we'll go hook up. That gets diminished a ton when you got a kid crying in the other room. It's like, it's not a sexy vibe when you got kids crying and shitting all over the place. So you have to do it, which is hard.
You ever finished real fast just to your kid crying?
No, not to the crying.
Power through it.
But I've finished fast to like,
let's go deal
the
with
kids
this
in the
problem.
other room, and we got to get this done quick, you know, because like she's gonna come knocking any second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
That
yeah.
type of thing, which is not the sexiest vibe.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Where before it would have been like, you wake up, we order coffee, you're talking, all of a sudden you look at each other, and and boom, it happens. Like there's none of that when you're married. You're like, okay, cool, I gotta get the kid's crying. You know, it's like it's a different animal. So I will say, like, what's a better question is not how has sex changed over time, or is sex important in a long-term relationship? It's like, how is sex pre and post kids? Because that is the question. Because like, I would say, how good are you at non-spontaneously having sex? Is
Dude,
how
it's
good your sex and how long it will be.
Have you guys had the question of like scheduling sex?
So this is, let me be honest, I've been super anti this for a long time, and everyone I talk to is like, you have to be good at this, you have to be good at this. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of a sensitive little, like, when it comes to sex. Like, I like spontaneous sex.
I'm so with you.
I like sex that is like, we were talking about something, we were vibing, and it created a vibe, and then I took you and we went into the other room. I am romantic like that. It's corny, but I love it. I think people who are really good at just kind of knocking it out and really good at just saying, can we have sex now, thrive in like parenting, because they're not like emotional about it. They're also not like waiting for it. And if it doesn't happen, their kind of feelings are hurt. And like the people who are less like that do a better job at consistently having sex. Where we are, because of me mainly, we are so like up and down when it comes to the like amount of sex we have. Cause it's like, we'll go through periods where I'm feeling super like we're in this zone. And so we hook up a lot. And then if we're not in that zone, like we're not having sex.
Because
You know
you're
what I
not
mean?
in the zone.
I'll be honest with you, it comes from me. It's because I'm not feeling like we're connecting in that way.
These are power cards Becca and I play.
Yeah.
Literally will be like, no, I don't want to have sex with you anymore. It's like, it switches. So for us, like I'm totally with you on the wave of like, there's weeks where we're having sex twice a day through the thing, can't get enough. And then it'll be like that week will end. And like the idea of having sex with the other person, like, no.
Doesn't even enter your brain. You're
No.
just like, whatever.
But being turned on all the time still.
Got it.
Like totally 100%. Like
Yeah.
if I'm not having sex, I'm going to masturbate,
Got it.
you know,
Yeah.
be nutting,
Nut City.
be out here. Yeah. Just like,
I be nutting.
I be nutting. It's like, it's part of me. It's like, what questions do you ever question when you're like, how am I going to go to bed? Like, am I going to fall asleep without masturbating? Are you
So no,
fucking kidding
I've
me?
never had that thing.
You're going to just like, I'm going to go to
I've
bed.
never
and I'm
had
not
the
gonna
like, I
come.
masturbate to go to sleep thing. I've never had that. Like for me,
Well,
it
for-
was like, I'll masturbate or like I'll have sex when I'm horny, but like the horniness never like put me to sleep.
No, it
really.
was never. So it was just like sort of a you know,
Thing to do.
empty the brain, just
Got
sort of
it.
like, it's like part of the routine, but like, I'm going to pee, I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm going to masturbate, then I'm going to pee a little more. Then that's it. There you go.
I'm going to floss, masturbate, then
Then I'm
brush
fall
my teeth.
asleep reading like 3 paragraphs in my Kindle. Or
Right.
and really before Becca, that was not a Kindle. That was just anime. I'm just going to watch a whole shitload of anime and fall asleep
Wow.
to
Yeah.
watching
Or
One
masturbate
Piece.
to anime if it's that kind of anime.
If it's good, dude,
If it's
I'm
good
I've
anime.
masturbated to cartoons. So cartoons
Have
can be
you?
sexy. Hentai?
Have you used like pornographic?
I did, there was a question on there like, how's my 3 months without porn going?
Yeah, so there was something about 3 months. Did you make it 3 months?
Yeah,
You did.
mostly.
How
I
close?
watched a couple times.
See, here's the thing. It doesn't count.
I didn't go 3 months straight.
No. Here's the thing.
I didn't go 3 months straight.
If you go 2 months in 3 weeks, that's one thing. But if you went 3 months but there was like multiple times, then it's kind of like you went on the long run
watched
and you
porn-
stopped 3 times.
I watched
It's kinda
porn
like, well, you
probably-
don't know what it's like then to push through that
I watched
horrible time.
porn maybe 3 times.
Okay. Do you feel like walking?
Each time I told Becca too.
Do you feel?
I can't hold secrets. I can't lie.
So did she want you? I'm not familiar with the situation. Did she want you to stop watching porn? She was like
wanted
you
me
were
to
watching
stop
too
watching
much.
for she's afraid that the porn was corrupting my brain.
Was there evidence of corruption?
Well, we had to get to, so the evidence was to be determined. It was the challenge of like, I disagree. I did not think that, well, I still don't, her whole thing
I'm
was
saying,
like,
was there evidence
it can't
of crumple?
not influence the way that I approach sex if I've been watching porn every single day since I was 12 years old.
Every day you watch porn?
Every day I masturbate.
To porn?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, right? We're grown people who
Fucking
masturbate
internet,
to nothing.
dude.
So you masturbate every single day to porn.
For her, it was about how is it affecting my relationship with her. So how is me watching the way these guys have
Even
sex
though it
in
hadn't.
porn with porn stars affecting my expectations of her in
So it's a very
sex?
classic problem, which is like it's bastardizing or it's ruining your
It's
view.
influencing
It's
me.
influencing, adversely affecting your view of sex.
And how you give attention to a woman in bed in sex.
Got it.
Yeah. So
And
it's
so
like,
she's like, you should take a break.
so the argument, the only way to prove the point, power dynamics again, was to prove her wrong by not watching porn for 3 months.
And nothing changed.
Well, it's debatable.
How do you feel?
For me, my approach to porn is still the same.
But how do you feel after, like, you said, okay, but doing it every day for, 20, almost 20 years at this point. But for the first time you took a 3-month break, kind of, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like, whoa, that was a crazy, or just like nothing really happened, kind of the same?
I feel like it's like, okay, yeah, I could live my life without watching porn.
No, but there was no marked increase, better. There was nothing better that really
So
happened.
I was turned on by other things far more in my day. Like I started finding, because I suddenly didn't just have this outlet.
Sure.
So there was like, it was like finding other things to stimulate me. Dude, it's like when you watch a 12-year-old going through puberty and all of a sudden they're like walking through the mall and they walk past Victoria's Secret.
And you're just like,
they're like,
hiding
I
your
gotta
boner.
go to the bathroom super
Oh, dude,
fast.
I remember that feeling.
That was
so
me
powerfully.
not watching porn.
Okay, so it made you more sensitive to things. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So there is that. But like, I don't know, dude, I thought about it. We did meet without a year. I fucking ate McDonald's on the way to your house.
It was like, yeah, exactly. You're just kind of
You're like, I was hungry. I didn't have dinner. Dude, I got 2 chicken sandwiches and a double-double. Or a McDouble,
well,
whatever
what
the
it
hell it's
sounds
called.
like to me is you're not highly emotionally affected.
No.
So therefore, porn wasn't wrecking you like it might wreck someone like her, maybe, who is more emotionally affected by things like that. So for she's probably looking at you going, how is this not wrecking you? And you're kind of like, well, I'm not like,
No, and I was also never someone in bed who's like, why don't you fucking do this? Like I see these girls doing porn.
like I see, Rebecca. You say some name. Okay, I got it. That's interesting. That's cool. I mean, I think that that's an interesting comment on porn in general, because porn is such a controversial topic for people.
Let's take this left-hand turn.
Major left-hand turn. Do you fold or crumple your toilet paper?
Fold.
If you crumple your toilet paper,
You're an animal.
you're a sociopath.
Yes, 100%. You don't.
It's literally like using your hand. You might as well just use your hand. Like,
You
it's
should-
such a mess. And
What's the
why would
point?
you do that?
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's an anxiety move.
I don't even know if you're like a sociopath. Sociopaths don't like give a shit about other people.
That's
right?
actually true.
You're
Sociopath
like-
probably folds.
Yeah.
They
You're
probably
like,
crumple if actually you're the farthest thing from a sociopath if you crumple.
you're
You're an anxious mood.
self-destructive.
You're an
you
anxious
like, don't
mess.
even care about yourself.
You're an
Yeah.
anxious mess. You're the someone who like then throws it on the floor.
You're just crusty, and you also probably have like a crusty butthole from like all your poop rash from not being able to.
See, I disagree. I think the crumpler uses a half a roll on their butt. Because here's why. I think a folder is interested in how do we
Efficiency?
wipe with the most efficiency, but not necessarily the most clean.
Do you wipe
I think-
opposite directions, or do you just wipe one way
Always
every time?
Back.
I switch it up. I do a back, then a forward, then a back.
You go forward to your balls.
Sometimes because I'm
What if
pulling
you
it
clip
all.
balls?
Okay, have you ever cleaned up something?
Yes.
So it's like if I spill something,
Yes.
I sweep
You
it all.
go-
It all
yeah.
goes in this direction.
Sure.
Just gonna it keeps going further away.
I mean,
So if you
no,
do it
'cause it's
this
going
way and then
on
you
the
switch it
cloth.
around, it's just like
no, that goes on the cloth.
no, it doesn't. You ever wipe twice and there's still shit there?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not all going on the cloth.
I would
It's moving
rather,
around
but I
somewhere.
would rather wipe 2 more times instead of accidentally rubbing it into my balls.
Dude, if we were okay, so first off, if we could advertise those fucking bidets,
Oh, dude.
natural segue right
Here's the
into
deal.
here.
So
Let's advertise the bidet.
we have these bidets
Yeah,
by Tushy.
they're amazing.
Ever since I got this bidet, the first time I hit with it, I was like, oh, this is too intense. Now,
Bullseye every time.
Now, anytime I go poo anywhere else, I'm literally like, this was the horrible experience.
I feel dirty.
I'm so clean now. It's unbelievable.
Do you carry wet wipes with you just in case they don't have a
never
Toshiba
do the
day?
wet wipe thing. Here's why I don't do the wet wipe thing. Because it's too much prep. And I'm never going to remember to have that shit with me. Also, it's like I got to wipe with the thing and then I got to do a normal thing to wet so I'm not wet.
And then you can't flush it. So you got to wrap it up in toilet paper and then toss it in the waste
the only
bin.
way I'd do it is if it was like a flushable
I don't
wipe.
give a fuck, dude. I'll carry my wet wipes right in the bathroom. Let everyone know I'm going in here to do business.
So you'll like be at a public restroom and have wet wipes with
I'll be at the gym, dude.
Oh, but that's your own gym.
I'll go to the front desk where they're working, pull my packet of wet wipes out from under like where they're stored.
But this is your workplace. I'm saying when you go to a
ones.
public place, will you have it with you?
Yeah. Put it in a backpack.
Where? In a backpack.
Put it in my tote bag.
That.
It's usually in my tote bag.
I think I agree with it.
If they don't have a tushy.
If you could be one age forever, what would it be?
Well, you have the answer right now. You go with your answer. Go with your answer first.
Earlier.
Yeah, we did.
27. It's the best age ever. Here's why.
See, I sort of agree with you.
27 is the best age. Here's why. 21, still figuring shit out. 25, no one respects you. You're 25. You're not a kid anymore, but you're also 25. 27's perfect because you're not 30 yet. So
anxiety about turning 30 hasn't even caught on.
28, 29 is when it hits. Also, young people still like you. So like you're 23, 24 year olds are still like, oh, you're one of us.
You're cool.
You're still one of us. You're cool. You're a little older, but you're not old. You can do everything. So the car, 25, the drinking at 21, everything else at 18. Like you can do everything. There's nothing that no longer restricts you. You get like discounts if there's like young discounts for shit. Like, oh, you're a whatever, young, you're pre-30, whatever. You still have your youth. So you can still drink like a gallon of vodka and wake up in the next morning and go for a run.
Yeah. You can. Right? You still feel like shit, but you feel better after running.
The second you hit 30, everything changes. Your hangovers are brutal. Your back hurts. Like things are
3 days long.
It's unbelievable. Everything hurts more now. I can do a workout and I'm sore for a week. When I was 27, I could like do anything.
My fingers hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't bend my hand. I can't make a fist with my hand
like
right now.
My feet hurt. And I'm like, my foot did not hurt until the day I was 30 years old, you know? So nothing hurts. And also by 27, you've made some money. You know some shit. You're not an idiot. You're not working at some restaurant like you are at 21. No offense to a restaurant. I'm more just saying like you're not working some just hourly job that, like you had at 21. Like you've maybe like worked on some things and kind of started your career. 27, I just remember 27. It was fucking great. I was going out all the time. I was traveling all over the place. I was making money. It was just like sweet. So that's kind of my like, I think it's kind of like maybe the best age.
I like that.
Counter me at all? Or you just agree?
So for me, I think it's personal to your life. For me, I think like 26, 25, 26 were, I think 26. Go eat like a month past my 26th birthday. Yeah. Maybe like right around, oh my God, what a sweet spot. Sweet. Cause I was a route setter. So I had like the sickest job you could have in the climbing gym. Okay. You were making climbs. It was the closest thing to ever get route being setter, a professional.
That's someone who creates the trail or whatever.
Create the climbs.
I don't know.
They create the climbs in the gyms.
Okay, so it's like the creative, cool. Like, oh, what's this going to be today? And it's like creating the journey.
Yeah, it's like the closest thing. You get paid to create rock climbs.
That's awesome.
And then do them with your friends. Yeah. And test each other's rock climbs and criticize them. So you literally play with power tools, and you get paid to travel around anywhere you want to go, just creating rock climbs. Full health insurance, 401k, all this shit. We were getting paid at least 20, like we were getting good money for what we were doing. And then also like I was living in a house with all my best friends.
Sick.
And like, exactly like you said, you could do anything the night before and go to work.
Dude.
Be like totally fine. I remember
just being like, blackout drunk at 2 a.m. and needing to get up at 8 and just like wake up at 8 and like hop on a flight and just being like, I feel a little fuzzy.
Dude, there's this thing there too. There was no
today, I'd be in
guilt.
The hospital.
There was no, you were like, I'm supposed to be doing this right now. And like everyone, like all the older people who are mad about me doing it are just fucking jealous that they didn't do enough of it. That like they just didn't live life to the full intensity that like we're doing right now.
27, 26, like you said, it's just, we were living life Pedal to the metal.
all the way.
Amazing.
All the way. Literally invincible.
Like you couldn't kill me.
No.
I would kill you.
And you were looking for fucking adventure.
Always. Everything was just about what are we doing tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, because any night could be an on night.
Money was meaningless.
And especially...
Any money you made, just get rid of it. Because it's like, let's just
meant
rip
to
it,
be
baby.
spent, dude. It's meant to be spent. Saving money comes later in life. Right now is about, especially if you're with a group of single dudes, there's also the thing of like, tonight's the night you could meet the woman that changes your life forever.
Sure.
There's always that sense of like, when you're young and you're single at that point, for me was never like, the intention was never to be single. It was just to be like, you got to go out and meet that girl.
Single creates the opportunity.
Oh my God, dude. The excitement of meeting somebody that you want to be excited about is such a fuel for just like just fun shit to happen and to put you in the right mindset to go out of your comfort zone, to like go to new places, try new things, go like meet new people. Like, oh my God. Yeah, dude. It's the
best. Meeting new people out 2 a.m. having the time of your life, dude. There's nothing like it.
Right now, going to a party full of people I don't know, I'm just like, because I don't need to meet somebody. I don't need, like, I have somebody.
And also you need to be up at 7 with your 2 kids.
I'm like, I don't want to
big one for me.
Yeah, but
it's like, it is crazy how it's like when you couldn't sleep in till 11 because you know you've been up till 6.
Oh my.
Dude, it's just like, whatever. Let's rip it, baby.
Completely. Oh, dude, I have a bachelor party coming up. I'm now that guy where it's like,
should we just golf?
The bachelor party isn't for my fucking friend.
You're going to a bachelor party.
It's for me, dude.
Right.
This party, like, he's got to know, like, I'm going to give him a present and shit. I'll be like, all like,
you're like, just so you know,
my own roommate.
I don't care what you're planned. I have my own
He's
plans.
actually my roommate from the time we're talking about, where it's like, absolutely, we're in the text thread where I'm just like, I'm also very much an instigator.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is like, whatever your plans are, like, you got to ramp it up.
Dude, it's so funny. Maybe it's because I got 2 years on you with the kids or 3 years on you with the age of the kid at this point. I'm the opposite. I'm more like, bachelor, where is it? Mm-hmm. How far away is it?
Well, see, I know you're not asking me for details, but I can't talk about details because I feel like his fiance at this point, like, she might actually listen.
Don't even bring it up. But I'm more just explaining like the like pain now of like, now if it was someone close to me, it's different. But if it's like someone even in the middle ground, I'm like, okay, where is it? How long? Because the amount of time I'm going to have to take away to do this means that I'm going to have to make it back from work and kid and this whole thing. So like, what are we doing? What's the plan? You know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's funny. I'm in that like, do I really got to go? Unless it's like someone really close. If it was yours, if it was like a buddy or whatever, I was like, okay, cool. But if it's anybody like outside of that a little bit, where it's like, we're kind of friends, I'm calling it sick.
I would be like, Becca would think that we were like the closest friends.
Yeah, because you juiced it up. You're like, I'd be like, no,
him. You don't understand.
I've never even heard him.
No, but we're like actually super, super close. Like it's like one of those friends. It's like that, you know. It's just like you don't ever talk about them, but like you have no idea how well this person.
I'm like, sorry,
I'm going. I'm going. You know.
No, I'm like, dude, sorry, I totally didn't see this.
I'm literally so like, let's just like where I'm at with this. Like, I'm scared of me at this.
Oh, right. Because you're just like, I might do some horrible shit here.
I'm terrified.
Crazy.
I'm like utterly excited and completely terrified of what's we're talking about jet skis.
Yeah.
Good time.
Love
someone
that.
said the term moderately, and I fired back copious.
Right. You're loving the group text. These days with group text, I'm just like, oh, it's too much work.
There's no like, there's sort of like there's someone's trying to referee and moderate of like,
and you're like, stop being an absolute
responsible. Wuss. Yeah. And I'm just like, excuse me. I thought we were going to a bachelor party.
Yeah, right. I had no idea.
Oh, it's just another Saturday. Okay, for you, yeah, it's just another Saturday for you.
Yeah, because you've had 17 of these this month. I've had none of these.
Yeah.
Let me live my life.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go into some quick...
I don't set alarms anymore, dude. It doesn't matter what time I have to be up. I don't need the fucking alarm.
No, your kid's there.
Up at 5:45.
Your kid's going... And you're like, there's my alarm.
What does she say in the morning?
Oh, Ember does the weirdest thing in the world.
Go.
You ready for this? Ember does this. Da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da-da-da-dee. And I'm like, that's what she does. She doesn't go, Daddy, Mom. She doesn't do that. She goes, Daddy, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-da. And so the other day, she's been doing this for years, by the way. Mama, mama, me, mama, mama, me, mama, mama. This weird cadence. And you know when you get used to something that's normal to you, but when you really think about it, if anyone else heard it, you're like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah.
So we were talking to Ember, and she brought it up to us. She goes, do you know why I call you the way I call you? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, you know why I go like this? Da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-da. And I was like, holy shit.
You're aware.
I was like, I never even thought about the fact that how crazy that is. And why do you do that? No one does that. And she goes, because I think you pay attention more to it when I wake up. Because if I just yell, mommy, you might not hear me. So probably what happened was sometime in the last 5 years, she did the classic mommy, and we didn't hear it, or there was some moment we didn't hear it. Maybe we were like walking to the bathroom. There's something. And so she changed her cadence to this weird like, mommy, mama, mommy, and then we heard it. So from now on, she thinks that like is better. So she does this weird, she never, like if I'm across the lawn and she wants to get my attention, she doesn't do that. It's only when she wakes up in the morning, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da. It's like this weird cadence, dude. And she's like, yeah, that's my cadence. That's what I do in the mornings. I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
It's the weirdest shit ever. What does yours do?
So Ruth goes,
yeah, like fake cry. Like I'm hurt.
mommy.
And you go in, she's smiling.
Daddy. And if no one comes in, she goes, mommy, pee pee. And then literally I drop kick the door in. I'm like, let's go.
Because you don't want peanut, you don't want the soak through the mattress.
The amount of times I've gone stumbling into her room where I think I'm walking straight and I just shoulder the door frame and I just like spill in. I'm like, you gotta pee? You gotta pee? She's like, yeah. And I'm just like, boom, instantly like, okay, we're on the toilet. Go into our room, shoulder the other side of the door, and just like
you're half
literally
aware.
Toss her at Becca and drop onto the bed. And you hear like our old bed frame had just like cracks because she's like, you don't sit down. I just drop.
Yeah, you don't.
Full body weight, just like,
body slam.
Boom. Like they're not meant for that.
Right. No, definitely not. Especially if they're older and they're like vintage or something. Just,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's get into a couple super quick personal ones.
Da-dee, da-da,
Da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da, da-dee, da-da-dee, da-dee, da-da-dee, da-da. It's just weird. I mean, it makes no sense. No, it's the strangest
you have to
thing.
Record it.
No, well, that's the thing. Is like, so we, you know, when we'll spend the night at my mother-in-law's or like my sister's or something, they'll just be like, "What is she saying?" Because it's to us, it's so normalized. But to them, they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" He's like, "Daddy, da-da-dee-dee-da-da." And we're like, "Yeah, I'm just getting up."
Well, you remember when we woke up at Jess's parents' house? Was the first time I met Ember.
Yeah,
we slept there at night. She was already in bed. The first time I woke up, I come out. Ember's in a fedora and like her underwear.
Oh yeah, she'll come out in a full gown,
drinking milk, and it was like, "Hey," she's like, just staring at me, and you were like, "Ember, this is Grayston. Like this is baby Ruth's dad." Because at this point she knew sweet baby Ruth. She knew sweet baby Ruth. And it was like where this came from. Actually, literally where sweet baby Ruth came from is Ember. And she goes, you go, "Oh, this is sweet baby Ruth's dad." And she goes, "I'm drinking milkies."
Yeah, like haha.
I was like, sick, dude.
Yeah, she's like, "You're probably jealous,
dude." Yeah, you literally. Yeah, she is 2 kids in one.
Yo, 100%. She's multiple.
We still
people.
joke about that. We do all the time. I'm drinking milkies.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do about it?
The unforgettable first impression.
She's
got her mom's ticket though, dude. Everyone loves Ember.
Everyone loves Ember. Okay, couple personals. So we already talked about one of your personals. I'll start with mine. What exactly does Evan do for work? This is a good question. Because everyone is always like, what the hell do you do? This is a great question. Okay. So I've always been this person. I've always been the like 7 job guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I wasn't. I wish my life was simpler. I do this to myself. I create 9 jobs and I've just always been this person. My dad's always been this way. Like we're just super into a million different things, and it's more pain than anything. But okay, so I'm a musical director for artists. So I work with artists and build bands for them, and then help them build out their live shows, and then create the whole live show for an artist, and then send them on tour. So I do that. I'm also a producer and a songwriter. So I do a lot of songwriting and producing for artists, as well as like commercial music and stuff like that. And then I also, what else do I produce podcasts too now. So I produce Chatty Broads. I produce a couple other podcasts. I am a amateur investor. So
How's that going?
Which means I invest my own money. I love it. It's just something. It's like a hobby of mine that makes me money. So I enjoy
but how's
that.
it going?
It's going good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I had the best year of my life this last year. So yeah, I it's just something fun I do that makes me money. So I consider that somewhat of a job. And then I am a mediocre golfer. That's not my job, but that's what I like to do. But yeah, so that's what I do. I do like 5 things instead of 1. I wish it was simpler. I wish I just did 1, but my brain doesn't let me do that. So I spread myself thin over those things. Question for you, dude. What was it like growing up with celebrities, because your dad was in the industry of making movies, or TV mainly?
TV.
So you come from like celebrity world, kind of Hollywood royalty.
Like grew up. So
your dad was in that world hardcore.
Yeah.
So what was it like kind of growing up amongst a bunch of celebrities and rich people, and like, obviously it's normalized to you, but it is a very unique upbringing when you think about like most people. When
you're kids, like we didn't think about it at all. Because the other thing was like, where I grew up, the majority of the kids I was very close friends with, their parents were all like, they didn't just work in the industry, they were like top notch.
Right. They were like,
it was like whatever the fuck happened, like the basketball team I got put on, whoever I became friends with, it was like happened to fall in where it was like so-and-so's mom is the lead on, at that point in time,
the biggest show,
the most successful show in whatever. So-and-so's dad.
So you got to see behind the curtains of some crazy stuff and some weird lifestyles. It was
basically like, yeah. Like in elementary school, like typical like weekend fun thing, or like a weeknight fun thing was like, let's go visit your parents on set. Like, have that person's nanny, or our favorite was Danny the Manny. Have Danny drive us to, wherever the fuck, because you got to go spend time with your mom, and look for a golf cart to steal.
Wow.
Steal some executives or whoever from fucking Page. Someone was pissed that we had their golf cart or an electric scooter. Like electric go-peds were really big on the sets, and just go fucking terrorize Warner Brothers.
Oh my God, that sounds
amazing. Or like
amazing.
Paramount, or just like wherever we were. Like there was, at those times too, dude, they would throw crazy money behind these like big carnivals. So they'd have like the season wrap, and you'd go,
it's like a rap party that's just insane.
So you'd go onto like the Warner Brothers lot, and they would shut down the entire neighborhood that like Gilmore Girls is set in, and you'd see like all these famous movie houses, and they'd have the houses open, and you could just go inside the fucking houses and like do whatever you wanted. They'd have Ferris wheels and crazy fairs. Wow. Everything's free. So like fucking everyone is there, like these crazy festivals, and you just, I don't know. We didn't think anything about it.
Sure,
like we would go,
to you, obviously.
We'd go to Universal Studios, not
for a party, and they'd close it down for you guys.
No, not the theme side, to like actual on-set Universal Studios.
Right.
And like go into like the jungle storage warehouse. And just like slide open like some warehouse door.
Jumanji stuff.
Get fucking like yelled at by someone and be like, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing here? And you'd be like, oh, like my fucking like so-and-so's mom, like, like we're just like, and they'd be like,
my dad wrote the show. That's
there was
here.
A couple times.
Did you drop that a couple times?
Yes.
Kind of like my dad is the guy who's doing
No, there was
this.
a point where it was like, once the first time you got in trouble and you shit your fucking pants, and they're like, where are you? You'd be like, my dad works here. And they're like, who's your dad? And you're like, so-and-so. And they're like, oh.
Okay, fine. You can just get out of here.
They're like, okay, like what do you guys want to do? And then it was like, wait, what? Like we're not in
Sure.
trouble. Because Hollywood's also like, I grew up having my dad having conversations, like insane, like angry, like literally Entourage type of like Ari Gold having his conversations where he's like, you fucking
Yeah.
that's like normal. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like that was okay. So to basically to us it was 100% normal.
Of course. So normalized.
But the other side was like, I mean, you just got used. I don't know. It's not like there's like a depressing side, but like these people are just fucking people.
Yeah.
And then you also become hyper aware of like the price at a certain point,
Sure.
especially then. Like this was pre-social media. Paparazzi was like an actual thing.
It was a real thing. It was like the only way that you got footage or knowledge of a celebrity doing something was like
just
a
being
snap.
around them. Yeah, totally.
Dude, that's so crazy. That must have been wild.
And you quickly find out the last thing someone wants to talk about is what they get paid to do.
Yeah.
Or to be like, that's actually
Sure.
who I am, because that's the job. Who they are is like this totally other person. Who they are is mom and dad.
Yeah.
Who they are is like these other people. And so that was also a thing that was actually very helpful growing up, was
Yeah.
like meeting somebody and being like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
So like later, like when I got opportunities, like working with like personal training stuff, was like come across like teaching so-and-so rock climb. It's like, cool, easy, whatever. Like,
Sure.
what do you want to work on?
Right. It normalizes that stuff.
Normalizes that entire industry in that world, the opportunity associated with it. I mean, every single one of us who witnessed our parents working in that industry, all wanted to be in that industry.
Got it.
Every single person I know, we all tried. Very few of us are actually, I've tried, I wanted to be in it. Was not in the cards for me.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy about this? And I was thinking about when you were talking about it, how much like whatever life you're in becomes what your vision is of life.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like everything you're talking about is so foreign to me as a kid. It's funny. I grew up probably an hour away from you. I was in Long Beach and like, Central / Cherry, kind of like in the hood of Long Beach. And I remember my parents literally just being like, get out of here for the day and I'll see you at night, and dodge the child molester who lives right here, and don't go over to that house right there because that is like another crack house. Stay with those 3 houses. Those are kind of a normal people, but I know that dude's brother might touch you, so just don't go over there. Like, it was like my world was like, okay, I found a pizza on the ground. Should we eat it? And it's so funny because it's like hearing you being like, I talked to this celebrity and he's like, I'm going like, oh my God, like it must have been so rad to have like the mystical world of celebrity be demystified and boiled down to this tiny little nutshell of like, oh, okay, here's how you get to there. Here's how you get to there. Here's how you get there. Because from someone who doesn't grow up near that and had no idea what that was like, it was such a far off thing to where it wasn't even possible to get there. You know what I mean? But for you living in it, you realize how small and basic it is. And if you have the right how to, it's like you can get there. But from someone who grew up far away from it, it might as well be Narnia. Which is so crazy, where it's like you are such a victim of like your surroundings or whatever it would be. It's just so interesting because it's like you're talking about it like it's so normalized. Like we were on the set of, Universal Studios, and we see all these fake planes and all the crashing and all the cool stuff, and being just like, yeah, it's just like a work set for people. But if I would have seen it, I would have been like, we're on Mars. You know what I mean? And it's just like so crazy how like, to boil this all back to like being a parent, it's like if you present your kids with ideas and kind of like give them limitless thoughts, you can really help them. And if you shrink their world down to this like fearful little thing, like you can really fuck up their worldview.
We'd be like having, doing whatever the fuck little kids do in someone's house and like run downstairs chasing each other, be like running around in your underwear with like foam swords and Nerf guns and just like tackle someone into the living room and just beat the shit out of them. And like all of you come tackle, and their friend's dad's like in a meeting with the
head of Universal
or like someone you recognize. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like my fucking idiot ass kid and his friends or whatever.
Oh
And
yeah,
they're
like you know, Larry
you
David
guys,
just
like,
walked in. You're like,
sit here,
sorry.
Sit here, introduce, be like, hey, Larry. And then just be like, go on, be like, we're going to go outside and be like, okay. And then, or
See,
like,
Larry was my uncle who just got out of jail for heroin.
yeah.
He was like, hey, buddy, you got
No.
any snacks?
No, these dudes were like, it's kind of hilarious when you think back. But again, I mean, it's, for me, it's like, of course you realize it, but like Becca is constantly like, it's highly uncomfortable to listen to you talk about like your childhood.
Because it's so foreign to most people.
Yeah. It's like a weird,
I think it's
I don't know, dude.
I love
grew up-
hearing about it. It's the dopest thing ever. I could hear you talk all day about it because it's so cool.
I
I'm
grew
like,
up
dude,
on,
you have such a unique perspective. It's like 99.99999% of people did not have that. So it's like such a cool thing to hear about.
I don't know. It's like we grew up in the north part of Santa Monica. Like friends had houses on the Riviera. Friends had like estate
Incredible.
homes up there. Almost every single person I knew growing up had a pool and a guest house. That was normal. That was normal.
that.
Those were our high school. That was like, you know, and Santa Monica is a small town. So it was also like, we also grew up like, I would leave my house, hop on a bike, go into the neighborhood, find other kids on bikes, scooters, and just like get into whatever the fuck we wanted.
Super cool.
And we could kind of do whatever we wanted because we were in Santa Monica.
Right. It's super safe. It's
Super
like,
safe.
it's kind of like
and
worst
if we
case
wanted
scenario.
to go do something, you literally like call up your mom, be like, I'm like, can I, whatever. Or you'd call, I mean, this was the side that I was going to get to is like when your friend's parents work in the industry, like my dad, when he had a show on the air, worked 16 hours a day, 6 days
just
a week.
nonstop.
Never saw him. See my dad once a week.
Right.
So when you have friends whose both parents work there, their parents aren't
Which
home.
is most of them probably because like
They're-
to achieve that type of success, usually you need like all hands on deck.
So their parents aren't
Killing it.
home. So you go to this
it's
big ass house, no one's
recklessness.
parents are home, but you have nannies
You
or
have unlimited resource, and
Unlimited
no,
resource.
and no like caretaker.
do whatever you want. Be like, where do you want to go for lunch? Be like, I want to go to fucking wherever. And like,
Wanna go
I
to
want to go see
Nobu,
this
and you're
movie.
like-
Literally, there was a point we went to an all you can eat sushi spot. And that was like all we could ever ask for was like, yeah, we want to go do this. And be like, you know,
Unlimited
constantly
credit card,
taking
just
8 kids out to dinner at some place.
Which is like,
and none of
yeah.
us think fucking anything about it.
money or anything like that.
No, and then
My
you
dad
hit
used to
an
make
age-
fun of me because we'd go out to eat once every like 6 months, and he'd go, "Oh, big spender," because I'd want the club sandwich. He'd always call me the big spender of the family because I wanted the club sandwich, and that was the most expensive thing in the family whenever we'd eat because it was like $10.99. He'd be like, "Oh, big spender, Evan," and I'd be
Right.
like, "God damn it, Dad! It's a sandwich."
But like, it's cool, but it also sets you up not to like, oh, there's this side of it, whatever. But it also sets you up as like this existential crisis
I could imagine so.
of like, okay, so like, where do I, like, holy shit, like once it hits you, like the magnitude of it all, there's like, how in the world am I ever gonna like,
Measure up.
yeah,
Totally understand that.
do anything on this, like to be able to do this, to provide. And then it's like, I don't know, there's, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it, but it was like, well, I don't know, like,
Everything has its ups and its downs. Everything has its, you know, it depends what you make of it.
I'll
you know
just
what
say
I mean?
it's not nearly as fucking cool to me as it is to you.
Of course,
My dad is way fucking cooler to everybody else than he is to me.
because he's just your fucking dad.
Yeah.
You know
he's
what I
a
mean? And
dad,
you were
he's
there
a,
when the fight broke out or when the
Be
bad
like,
thing
he's a
happened.
writer.
Right. Big
I don't
deal.
know, he sits in his office and fucking plays on his keyboard.
Right. Who cares?
I
Right.
play with my keyboard too.
Right.
You
right.
know?
Every day.
Every
But I just took
fucking
3
day.
months off.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying. I think that's good. We've been at it for a while
We
now.
have.
I think we could let it go. But that's a little bit about us.
Yeah.
Our upbringing, our lives, sex, you know, broads, the ladies, the whole thing. There's a lot more to talk about. We literally touched on like 8 questions, and there was 200 of them. So there's so much more shit to talk about. We will get into it. We'll have more specific convos too. This was like the general get to know us situation.
It really is.
I think a lot of you guys don't know much about us, so I think it was important just to get us to it was like an introducing. It was a handshake conversation.
This is a family affair.
This is a
over
family
here.
affair now. So we're going to get into more as we continue on with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and Paradise and all that good stuff. We'll be having conversations about sex. We'll have guests. We'll have friends come on. We'll have people. It'll be awesome. So
Do you have
I'm
any
looking forward to
ideas
it.
for guests?
I wanted to get Obama
I'm not
on
gonna
here.
pull this.
That's real grass, by the way.
I really want to get Tyler.
I want to get Obama on, talk to him. I think we should get the royal family on to kind of deal with some of the Meghan
You want to
Markle
get
stuff.
Obama, and who's his podcast with?
Letterman would be good.
Letterman would be cool if he shaves, but
No, I want the beard.
you want the beard. What's his name? He's a minor pop star. You're the music guy. Who's his the New Jersey, the biggest thing ever to come out of New Jersey.
Springsteen?
Yeah.
Oh, they have
Obama's
a podcast
got a
together?
podcast with
Let's get Springsteen on. So just we're gonna shoot. We're gonna shoot low.
Yeah.
World leader. We'll start with world leaders, and we'll move up from there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can get.
What's
And
up from world leader?
Intergalactic leaders.
Cool.
The Elon Musks. The Bezos.
Mr. Musk.
But anyway, love y'all. I'm excited for our year to come because I think we're gonna do big things. It's gonna be sweet.
We have a lot in store for you guys. And honestly, you are more in the driver's seat than we are.
100%.
So if there are things you want us to talk about, if there's topics you want us to talk about, if there's things you want us to watch and then be able to like expand upon our experience watching those things with you
Keep
guys.
sending in.
Yeah. Like we have so much fun doing this.
And we like when you guys do most of the work for us and just tell us what we should talk about.
Yeah, it is really fun. It's really fun to engage.
It is. We love y'all. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Chat soon. Bye.